Just a note, getting started, we are going to be televised tonight. We do have a large crowd, so just if you could be sensitive to noise and talking, because we are on Falmouth TV. So if you just be aware of that, I'd appreciate your concerns. Thanks. Okay, it's 6:30. I'm going to call the July 2nd meeting of the Falmouth Historic District Commission to order. The first item of the agenda tonight is going to be a public hearing on the First Congregational Church at 54 Main Street. We have reviewed this application before, but there have been so many additions and requests for some changes to the original plan that we have requested the applicant to come in and give us a summary of exactly what's going on so we can understand a lot of these changes that have suddenly come to light since we've originally reviewed the project. So if someone could be representing the Congregational Church. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Sally Giffen, and I am chairing the Manse Renovation Committee. Manse is, for those who don't know what I'm talking about, is the home for the minister. We have several items, 4 items that we want to clarify and get some approval on. And I will take them in order of the way that they were presented in the announcement for the meeting. The first item was roof shingles, and Walter Slobodan is our contractor for the project. And one of the things that Marlene asked, I think, was that we bring a sample of the shingles that we're suggesting be placed on the rear roof of the building. The shingles are Nantucket gray, which is what we were advised was the correct shingle color. And Walter has a copy, has a sample of the shingle if you'd like to take a look at it.
Yeah, please. As long as it's here, we'd like to see it.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Oh, I see back here.
So these shingles would go along the entire back roof of the lower portion of the roof of the manse in the rear of the building.
And also the small building.
Yes, yeah. There's a small building attached at the end, at the west end of the manse, and there'll be shingles will be visible from 2 viewpoints on that particular roof, so that roof will be replaced to match everything else.
Now, that was originally not intended to be re-shingled in the first application?
Correct.
Correct. Any questions?
No, not on that. I think that's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Item 2 was windows, and I need Walter to come and show you those also. The windows were approved, but the architect's drawing and the sample that we got of the window are not correct. And what we are doing is putting in the window sill casing for the door.
It's just a drip shield on top of it.
Drip shield on top of the window to match what was there before. And Walter has a sample of that.
The drip shield that was on the drawing that you actually approved shows that there's a 1-inch overhang
Yeah.
on the drawing. That's not what's on the project. It's perfectly flush. So this is what we propose to put on, perfectly flush. So there's just a conflict of, if this will meet condition 2 of your approval, this will, the drawing will not. So we need to get rid of this drawing.
Yeah.
It's a mistake.
Yeah, I've looked at the drawing and I see where the discrepancies are, so we're happy to obviously disregard something that's not correct.
Okay.
Any other questions on that?
I'd like to see that sample of the original molding, please. So this,
So this is flush, and this is flush. It doesn't stick out like the drawing does.
And also there were
So we don't want to put in 37 windows, we want to have somebody come along and say, hey, we didn't meet the drawing.
Right,
And this is the photograph of how it's, is on all these windows.
right.
and would it make sense to talk about each aspect or to go through the 4 and then come back? Which would be most efficient way to deal with this, do you think?
I think you should talk about the things as you go.
I think so too. It just makes sense. And could I see that, please? I mean, my impression when I looked at the photographs, I didn't feel that these were the same or close enough, to be honest with you. I mean, I think,
Because of this OG edge?
well, I think both that top piece looks to be much thicker and then the OG edge much thicker as well.
Or it's more curved.
It's more curved. And, I mean, seeing if that you're fabricating it, I think it could come closer, because this looks bulky compared to this, how fine this one looks to me.
You've got to keep in mind that that was made in 1814.
No, I understand, but you're fabricating the parts
And it
now.
has a lot of paint on it.
I understand, so it actually makes it finer when you take some of the paints off. This is unpainted and it's bulky looking. So you take the paint off here, it's even finer looking. So I don't understand if you're fabricating these parts, why you don't have the flexibility to be able to fabricate them exactly as they are here.
Who's fabricating it?
I-
You are.
What's the measurement on the front?
Well, the measurement, there's not even any measurements
No,
on
because
the
if this
application,
measures-
which I,
If that measures the same, what's the thing that's...
You can look at it right here.
Okay.
See, look at the difference here. Do it this way. You see this and this? You see how they're different shapes? This shape and that shape?
Yes, but on the original drawing,
Yeah.
you approved a standard molding,
Uh-huh.
which is that.
Okay. Out of ignorance, unfortunately, I have a feeling, but thinking that that was what was existing as that being represented. I mean, unless we go and inspect every single inch, it's difficult to know what's existing if it's not.
I'm not sure that I can actually duplicate that exactly.
Okay.
well, it's
I
got to
mean,
come
this is
closer.
very close.
I don't think it's very close, to be honest with you, in my opinion. I think you have to come a lot closer. I
You
mean,
see the thinness of this profile, and you see sort of the curve here? Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Sam, do you see it? Do you see what I'm saying? These two shapes? Okay, well, look, I can even do an outline of it. You can like go like this. And then if you do this one, it's, and I don't have the pen to do it properly, but you see, I mean, it's, yeah, sorry. So it's two different shapes is what we're talking about. The trim, these pieces here.
Okay.
So if that could be more similar to the original.
Are you replacing every window trim in the house? They're all rotted?
37 of them.
That's why I want to
make
get it
sure
right.
It was right before we actually made
Yeah.
these and trimmed them.
Yeah.
Are you buying those moldings, or are you having them made?
We're making these pieces, and we're buying this piece.
Okay, so then the question is, can you take that piece to whoever you're buying it from and say, match this better than
This is a
that?
standard molding
I understand.
that we,
That looks it.
actually, we had to go to one particular, we had to go to Falmouth Lumber for it because no one else has it.
Mhm.
So, I don't know if I can get, I'd like to try,
Yeah.
get somebody.
Well, I would suggest, we had an application here for 40 Main Street, and all of the wood trim in that house has been fabricated just to make sure that it's exact. So there is someone in town who does it. I know, I certainly don't know the cost, but there is somebody in Falmouth who will fabricate, especially that if it's just that one molding piece to make it as closer to the original as, okay? So I think it's, especially for that many windows and such a visible and important property, I mean, we really, I see it as a big difference, you know, and I couldn't approve that window trim as it is.
Okay. Any other concerns on that? Or-
No, I think what we'll need to do, I mean, obviously, you're gonna have to do your research as to, and get this closer, and then bring it back to the board. It was nice, I mean, we had the luxury now of actually having an example close up, that we could see it closer rather than a photograph, which is never a good representation. Sometimes it's the best you can do, but, I mean, in looking at it close up, to me, it even dramatically highlighted the difference in the two.
Okay. Third item was the fence. We don't want a fence. And the architect had put it in as a placeholder, in effect, thinking that it could be done later, if approved, it could be done later. But that doesn't seem to be the case, and so we simply would like to eliminate that from the project.
Okay, not a problem, sure.
And finally was,
So, excuse me, so that means whatever's there today is just gonna remain? I'm not sure whatever is there, but
Yes.
whatever is will remain. Okay.
yes, yes, yes. In need of some repair, but yes,
Are you going to repair
And not
it?
added to.
not added to, no.
So you'll
Exactly.
repair it as is, so it's still, whatever it is
Yeah.
remains?
Yes.
Okay.
Here, this is
And finally,
Oh, yeah,
there was a
okay.
question on the shutters, and you wanted a confirmation that we were not doing anything replacing the shutters, and we're not. The shutters are going to be taken down in order to access the windows, but the same shutters will be put right back up in the very same place.
Good. Okay.
That's it.
And those are the only four new items?
I made sure to ask for public comment.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll close the presentation. Is there any public commentary on 54 Main Street? We'll close the public commentary.
Sir.
Sorry, okay.
I'm John Keenan, Keenan County Architects, on Main Street. I was the architect for the Mass project. We have two different issues confused here before you. There were two certificates of appropriateness issued. One was for replacing the 27 windows. The other one was for the addition to the rear of the building. We had to come back for that.
Right.
The issue with the trim is the previous certificate. The other issue is the addition I drew and presented this to this committee and received a certificate of appropriateness is not the one that's sitting over there on the back of that building. It's too high, it has aluminum windows, it has skylights, it's completely different than what you approved.
Well, it's
So
something
I
that-
think that's a bigger issue than the trim on the windows, and I think you should address that.
Well, we,
You approved wooden windows on the back of that addition.
all right,
You didn't approve skylights. You approved the detail that matched the existing wing that was discussed. That wing was actually built in 1710. We were trying to match it. At the west end of that addition, we had a small cricket and a hip to alleviate the fact of a cheek wall coming off the back of that building. You can see that from 54, from Palmer Ave. The other side is visible from the driveway in front of the Congregation Church. The whole addition is visible from Catherine Lee Bates Road. It is not in conformance at all with what you approved for that certificate of appropriateness. And that's the reason I'm no longer involved in the project. I hope you consider it. Thank you.
well, just for the record, based on that commentary, a letter was sent to the building commissioner on May 29th, notifying him and alerting him that the building was not in compliance to our certificate of appropriateness. Now it's in the hands of the building department to follow up and investigate the differences.
That that part of the building is out of your jurisdiction? It's not,
There are parts of it, like the skylights, that are not visible from the public way, and they're not under our jurisdiction. Correct.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
You can see that building from Kathleen Bates Road. It's a public way. It's completely 100% visible. Between Kathleen Bates Road and the back of that building is a parking lot. Clear, you can see the back of the building from the Lawrence School steps. It is in your jurisdiction.
Public
But
way,
the bigger question is you approved it, you issued a certificate of appropriateness, which was not followed at all, period.
so can I ask a question about public way? So public way, is that the public way only in the historic
It's
district to
district.
the public way? So Kathleen Bates not being in the in the historic district, so that's not the public way as defined from
It's gotta be
viewing it,
Palmer.
but just for point of clarification.
Okay, it's gotta
Palmer
be
is
Palmer.
though.
Palmer is. Okay.
Thank
See
you.
it from Palmer Avenue.
You can see it from Palmer.
Not the skylights. No. You can see the addition, which is what we addressed at the time of the original application. And that's why it was there, because we could see the change. Now, if the height is not correct based on the original drawings, and the building
But
department.
it's
will
not for us to
follow up
enforce
on
it
that.
anyway.
Right, the building department will follow up on that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any other public commentary?
Do we have to vote on their, okay, I just left, but that's, okay.
That's okay.
They know what they have to do. Okay. Close the public commentary. So, they've left, so there's nothing more. I think we'll just wait for them to come back with the appropriate window treatment.
Okay.
Window trim.
So we continue it, or?
Yeah.
Actually, do you want to make a motion for the roofing, to approve the roofing and the modification to the application for the fence and
Yeah,
shutters?
And the shutters.
Mhm.
Did the original application
The fence is
replace
okay.
shutters? I don't recall.
Shutters are okay.
There was, yes, there was shutter work identified in the original application.
Okay. So I'll make a motion that we approve the roofing material as presented and the addition of the small annex to be roofed as well. The removal of the fence from the original application and the removal of any shutter work that might have been on there, since they've just explained that they're not going to do any shutter work. The motion will not include any approval of the window trim, which will be continued.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
She aye.
Okay. Okay, everybody all set?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so next we're going on to two cases that were continued from the last meeting. Just before we get into these cases, I want to remind the audience that both of these applications were heard at the last meeting. They were heard and closed, both the application presentation and the public hearing, so we will not be allowing any public commentary tonight, so you understand why we won't be opening it up just like we do a normal application, because it is closed. We continued it for the board to discuss it, and that's what we'll do tonight, so we're clear on what's going to happen next, over the next two, okay? So 13-42, Stephen Haddad at 681 West Falmouth Highways. Since the presentation was cleared, just so we don't have any confusion, if you still have some questions, you can clear them through me, and I can see if either we didn't have the answers, or we can ask the applicant. If not, it's just our own discussion of what we want to talk about on the application, and then ultimately make a decision on. So is there any other discussion on?
Can we see the layout and everything again?
Yes,
Sure.
let me- Switch pieces with you for this one.
So this was the application that was just presented. The major change really was the addition of this building two,
And the removal
right,
of
the removal of,
That part. Excuse me, sorry to interrupt you, but please do speak up.
Oh,
okay,
I'm
because
sorry.
we're on-
okay. So the major changes is the addition of building two, which was not here on the first application that we looked at. The first application had an annex off the rear
Oh, the existing
of the
building.
main house. That is now not there, and instead is two additions on the sides, one a larger addition here, and then a portico-type porch on the side, and with a small garage on the back here. So those are the major changes from when we looked at this originally. This has not changed, as I understand. We're not talking
We
about
don't do
these at all anyway, so. So those are the major changes that, just to remind yourselves, what we spoke about, or what was presented at the last meeting. So I don't know if you have any.
Well, so I mean, I think one of the issues that, just so we need to just address, has to do with, you know, guidelines and what new buildings and new construction can be, and
Yep.
as well as information that we heard from the historic value of the existing building. Those are the things that came up for me.
Yeah.
The other issue for me in terms of the historic district has to do with overall density and how that's changed in the historic character of that area.
Yeah. I had the same concerns in going back to the property, looking at it in light of now the changes and what that might, you know, trying to get a perspective of what that might look like, how it might change the whole look of the original house, and so I had the same concerns and thoughts. So going back and looking at it now a second time with a different set of plans, obviously, was important to do.
Yeah, I like the first plans better. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I did too. So, did you have any questions of the applicant himself that, you know, maybe came up as another question? Are the plans pretty clear, self-explanatory?
Well, I think we can probably work with Steve Haddad on variations on the historic house. My concern is how it's crowded down on that side.
Yeah, that was my major concern as well. Any other thoughts, Tom?
I don't see where they're gonna take the barn down.
You mean the one back here?
Yeah.
Well, again,
That's
it's
not
not in our
our
jurisdiction,
jurisdiction.
so
It's not
we
in our-
really can't address that issue, whether or not we like the idea or not. It's not something that we can talk
The
about.
barn's outside the district?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's outside the district.
It's just behind.
So,
But there's also this driveway is
Yeah.
also of particular note in
Concern,
terms
yeah.
of its wideness and its differentiation from
yeah.
other existing
that was a concern of mine. It
byways.
made it look like a road going
Mhm.
through there, cutting the property in half as well. You know, that was another area that sort of disrupted the property as well. I was less concerned with the moving of the house. I think historic houses get moved all the time and over time have gotten moved. So I was less concerned about that. If anything, I felt that the moving actually was a benefit to the house because it moved it away. If this gets approved from a zoning perspective, then it moved it away from there, so it actually protected the house better. That was my,
Well, it protects it because you get a decent foundation.
and you get a decent
That's what-
foundation.
that's the whole
Right,
thing. You have
which
to
was
hold it up.
important here as
Right.
well, which was important here as well. So, I mean, this, I think, to me, was my main focus of what was going on here. And,
Well, and the road, and then the overall density of the streetscape.
yeah,
Well, they drive fast.
yeah.
That's why I'm gonna slow down.
Can you use the microphone so that the audience can?
Sure,
Sorry, yep.
sorry. Maybe we have to turn it on, or they're on.
I think they're turned on, yep, okay. So in light of my concerns and some of the things that bothered me about this and I thought about and looked at again, I asked Marlene to draft up a motion that would incorporate some of the stuff that I was thinking of, you know, at least as a guideline, because there were so many issues here. And I thought we could get bogged down in trying to deal with every issue. So I was trying to identify the main issues that bothered me about this. So I asked her to, and she wrote up a motion that might incorporate some of the things you just spoke about. So it might help us get through this. And I could read the motion If you're in agreement with it, fine. If you're not in agreement with it, then, you know, we can talk about it. But I think at least, rather than us trying to wade through every issue individually, you know, for the sake of time and efficiency, let me read, here's a copy of, that you can follow by. Could you pass one on to April, please?
Oh, sure.
Thanks. So this would be a motion that I would raise. My motion is that the Historic District Commission vote to deny the application for a certificate of appropriateness for application 13-42 at 681 West Falmouth Highway, as submitted by Stephen Haddad on May 24th with the following findings. The Historic District Commission finds that existing house was built in 1850 and is of historic value per Section 2 of the Design Review Guidelines. The house was designed in the federal style, which were commonly 2- or 3-story box-like buildings with low-pitched tip roofs. Furthermore, the house also has the common federal detail of an elaborate and delicate front door surrounded with a semicircular fanlight. The window rhythm also follows the federal style in that the windows are aligned vertically and horizontally and are fitted with a 6/6 double-hung sash. In addition to the importance of the existing structure itself, Section 1 of Chapter 654 of the Acts of 1975, as amended, charges that the Commission to be concerned with the development and preservation of appropriate settings for such buildings, places, and districts. Likewise, General Guideline 1 of the Design Review Guidelines requires that the HDC regulate development and appropriately preserve the character and appearance of the historic resources, its settings, and the district as a whole. The 18 federal style house is identified as Building 1 on the applicant's proposed site plan and is located within the historic district. The location and footprint are proposed to be modified, which will be discussed in detail below. The existing house is proposed to be an 1,822 square foot. Furthermore, the applicant proposes to add 2 more buildings in that portion of the lot which is within the historic district. Building 2 is proposed to be 1,522 square foot and is located approximately 13.3 feet to the east of the existing building. Building 5 is proposed to be 3,852 square feet and is located approximately 55 feet to the south of the existing house. Section 8A of Chapter 654 of the Acts of 1975 as amended requires that the HDC consider the appropriateness of exterior architectural features of buildings and structures thereafter designed, arranged, constructed, or enlarged, extended, or structurally altered within the district. Section 8 of the Design Review Guidelines pertains to new infill construction with the historic districts, either on the same lot as an existing historic resource or on a separate vacant lot. Section 8 requires that new buildings to be compatible with historic buildings in their immediate vicinity and with the historical setting in the district as a whole. Currently, the existing house is located on a 1.19 acre lot along with a barn which is located outside the historic district. The house is approximately 75 feet from the nearest building to the north and approximately 140 feet from the nearest building to the south. The HDC finds that the context and settings of the 1850 federal house to be spacious and not crowded. The house is prominent on the highway and is not obscured by any other structure. The HDC finds the location of the Building 2 to be inappropriate in relation to the existing house and that the setting will be negatively impacted by crowding the structure too closely together. Furthermore, given the proposed proximity of Buildings 1 and 2, the scale of Building 2 is too large in relation to Building 1, and it will not appear as a subordinate outbuilding. Additionally, Building 2 is oriented inappropriately with its back to the highway. Finally, the width of Building 2, as measured along the road frontage, is significantly wider than the existing width of the existing house. The HDC finds that the majority of the houses located within the West Falmouth Historic District are oriented so that the narrower dimensions of the structure is located parallel to the street frontage, with the long dimension of the structure running back towards the back property line. The HDC recommends that the applicant reorient Building 2 to respect the existing historical development pattern and move the structure farther away from Building 1. The design of the new construction need not copy or mimic the federal style. However, the new building on the site should be sensitive to and consistent with the major architectural features found in the existing house. The existing house is very simple, has a very simple hoop roof with a low pitch and minimal overhang. The proposed new construction has a complex roof plan with multiple pitches, gables, formers, and porches. The long second-story uppermost rear dormer shown on the west elevation of Building 5 is especially insensitive to the style of the existing architecture. Finally, with regard to the proposed new construction, the HDC finds that the use of PVC trim boards to be inappropriate in this context. It is recommended that the applicant revise any future application to specify the use of wood for items such as window, door, and roof trim, corner boards, and water table. Section 8 and 9 of the Design Review Guidelines cover site improvements in the historic district. The HDC finds the location of the driveway to be inappropriate as it provides additional space between buildings 1 and 5. However, the width of the driveway should be limited to 16 foot within the historic district, and the commission finds that bituminous concrete is inappropriate for the driveway system in this location. Details for the proposed stone wall along the frontage were not submitted or reviewed. The HDC recommends that any future application contain the necessary wall details. Currently, the existing house has a walk leading from the front door to the highway. Generally, this is a site improvement that the HDC would require the applicant to maintain. However, in this case, because the sidewalk is on the east side of the highway, the HDC finds it unnecessary to maintain the traditional pedestrian connection. Section 4 of the Design Review Guideline covers alterations to existing buildings, and Section 7 covers additions to existing buildings. Both sections apply to the following discussion regarding the treatment of the existing 1850 federal-style house. The applicant is proposing to remove the 2 extensions to the rear of the front hip-roofed portion of the house. The HDC finds that this to be appropriate. Furthermore, the applicant proposes to move the hip roof portion of the existing structure approximately 20 foot to the north. The HDC finds that this has been common historical practice to move houses. The HDC finds the proposed new site for the existing structure to be appropriate and that moving the house will not damage the context of the district as a whole. The applicant is proposing to construct 2 new additions to the existing house, a significant gabled roofed room addition to the north elevation and an open porch to the south elevation. The HDC finds both of these additions to be inappropriate for a box-like federal-style building. The proposed additions increase the width of the house far from the existing proportions of the front elevation. Furthermore, the HDC finds that the proposed addition to the north elevation disrupts the existing window rhythm and that a gable is an inappropriate roof style for an addition to an existing house. The HDC finds that the proposed fiberglass front door with lights to be inappropriate. The HDC recommends that any proposed new front door to be solid paneled wood. Additionally, the HDC finds any proposed casement, awning, or transom windows to be inappropriate for a federal-style house. The HDC recommends any future window proposal to be for 6/6 double-hung wood units only. Lastly, the HDC finds that the chimneys proposed for demolition must be rebuilt and shown on any future plans. The Commission understands that the zoning constraints of the site and acknowledges the zoning bylaw governs the permissible land uses and maximum residual density, residential density allowed. However, permitting requirements placed on the property by other municipal boards do not restrict the Commission's decision-making authority. Finally, the HDC finds that Section 10 of Chapter 654 of the Acts of 1975 is amended, explain that any person aggrieved by this action has 20 days to appeal the HDC's decision to Barnstable County Superior Court, and that this remedy is exclusive. Therefore, the HDC will not consider this matter again unless there are significant and substantial revisions to the project that warrants a new hearing and decision. So that's my motion. I don't know if you had any other
This is
concerns.
the longest motion
I
I've
know.
ever heard.
I don't know if you had any other concerns, that were going through your mind that you would want to amend this motion or proposal? or-
You said that the location of the driveway was appropriate, and that's okay?
Location of the driveway
Was
is
it-
appropriate.
Because I thought I heard you read differently. Is that it? So this
No,
the
I
way
think it is appropriate. I
Okay,
think it was
okay.
the width that was
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
is
okay.
inappropriate. So, sorry, that's
Yep.
Second.
second. All in favor? Aye.
No more discussion?
Oh, more discussion? Are you all set,
We're
Dan?
just gonna do this thing, okay.
Well, I mean, I think this is comprehensive. I mean, we can
It sure is.
discuss,
I
but
mean, it's just-
I think
it's
it takes into
extraordinary.
account all the issues that we brought
Well, I
up.
think the main issues, without nitpicking.
Yeah, yeah.
I think these were, the main issues were right here. In
Yeah,
this,
exactly.
in this section of the, and this is really the section that became revised in the second plan. I think our perspective of the original plan was far more favorable
Yeah,
than this revised plan.
yeah.
So, that's why I tended to focus in this area, because we had pretty much seen this here. We had a few comments, I know, at the time, but I think there was enough here to justify denying the project without nitpicking on little things
I'd agree.
and not sort of go down that rabbit hole of minutia. So that's why I tried to highlight what I thought would be the really salient points here of what was wrong with this revised plan.
Okay. I'm in. I'll
Great,
vote.
I agree.
Comfortable with that?
Yeah, well,
So we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. You want a copy of this, Steve? Can I give you? Yeah, I can-
Thank you very much for your time to put this together, so.
I think it's, we try to make it as clear as possible for you. So,
Thank you very
yeah.
much. Appreciate that.
Thank you. Marlene, thank you.
it's a lot of hard work.
It is, it's very hard.
Please, can I remind you that this is a public hearing going on, and we'd like to keep some decorum here. The second application that has been continued is 13-43, the Namitz Family Trust at 46 School Street for an accessory structure. Again, I'll remind the audience that this has been presented. The public clearing is closed, so there will be no additional request for public input or from the applicant as well. So, 46 School Street. Hopefully, you've all had time to look at the property. I have to say that based on the first application, myself personally was heavily moved by the outpour from the neighborhood, and I was glad they brought it to our attention, certainly, their concerns. However, when when the applicant presented last week, and I think the one thing, last month, and the one thing that struck me the most was the commentary that this vista that we're talking about, the view, which is really the highlight of the concerns here, it doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, I drove by.
Well, that
it's
is
really difficult.
true, although the reason why it doesn't exist anymore is because of the vegetation that they've
Right.
been able to add to the property.
Right.
Yeah, it's all filled in with
Yeah.
hedge.
It's all
Yeah.
filled in.
You can't see a thing there.
You
Yeah.
can't see a thing,
Yeah.
so,
How,
so I think this issue of that vista being there,
Yeah.
especially the historic aspect of it, is gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
It's a romantic,
I think there were other issues, though, that were pertinent.
yes. So that was one issue, though. I mean, that was the public's certainly concern.
It was one
as-
of their concerns,
One
yeah.
of their concerns as well. So I wanted to address that as well. I did note that certainly to the right of the proposed garage, there is an open field with a very clear view to Eel Pond. To the left of the property, very clear view to Eel Pond. So it's not like this is a landlocked property that's lost forever, it's just that this particular route is gone anyway, for a lot of different reasons over time, and it's not coming back. It's only going to get probably worse as this vegetation, which I understand is protected anyway by conservation, is not going to go away. So that was one concern. I think the fact that the applicant brought back major revisions to the structure itself based on our concerns, I think was,
What are the major
well,
revisions?
the elimination of the dormers. I think it was a major change, which
It made it small.
made it smaller
Dropped it down.
and certainly less intrusive. It's moved back on the property, so it's not sitting up in front, which was seriously bothersome to me. So it is moved back, and I understand, I don't know if I can put this in the record about that the conservation still has to approve this setback.
The conservation does need to modify their order,
Right.
yes.
So there is a pending request with conservation to put them back, and if this were to be approved, it would be contingent on that happening and not to go forward again. So they are proposing to move back and trying to get approval on that. One of the things that I was not happy to see is that the original size of the garage went back up after what they had originally agreed to reduce it to, which we can talk about tonight if we would like to.
I thought it was reduced.
No.
The dormers were eliminated, but the size was
The
increased
footprint was-
back again to the original.
It was because I thought the whole thing went down.
It
I
was
mean, not,
20,
you know what I
went
mean,
down to
reduced.
22, and then it last, and then it came back up to
It came back to
24.
24,
Yeah.
right. So that's something we may want to talk about. That concerned me as well. And just again, when I looked at the streetscape, certainly set back. This is a modern house. This is not a historic house. It's not meant to look like a historic house. It's not an inappropriate structure. It's an outbuilding. So I looked at it with a different set of eyes, certainly from after the last meeting. So that's my perspective of what I saw.
I thought the overwhelming, compelling presentation by the neighbors swayed us last time on 2 points. One was the view,
Yeah.
and the other one was the congruity of the siting. Given that the view seems to be less important now because of all the trees, we're left with the congruity of the siting. So you look at the rest of the sub-district, and you got a row of Victorian houses, all with a garage in the back.
Mhm.
And then you look at our guidelines, 9.1.2,
Yep.
it says, new accessory buildings are typically behind primary buildings. So I think this project is still the same project, and it's incongruous to the setting of the district. And the dormers are not an issue since we're not looking at the view anymore.
Right. So there's no public commentary. Thank you. Okay. Any other thoughts? This is
Well, I
our
must have
discussion now,
misunderstood,
so.
Because I thought that the dormers are going away and that it had been reduced in size.
Right.
And had been moved back,
Mhm.
a little bit. And so I was thinking that this was getting better. And,
Well,
I
it
didn't-
did
I
get
didn't-
better, but it increased in an area that we may want to talk about again. I wasn't happy that we,
Increased to what, in width?
with.
Yes.
Now, I don't know how I missed that, because this is
Well, it was 22, and then it went back up to 24. They wanted the 24 feet.
That
because
was
they
one of
felt
the
that
early
was-
concessions, was to come down to 22.
Yeah.
And I think with the revised plan, we went back to the original footprint. So, again, that's something we can talk about,
Right.
if that concerns, if we want to, if we were to press for an approval, we could ask for that back or make it contingent on that. If we don't approve it, we don't approve it. It doesn't matter. It becomes a moot point, so.
Yeah, because I thought the scale was getting down to something that was manageable, because it was not a historic house.
Right, it's not a historic house.
Right, but it's still, again, I bring up the question of density in the area,
Mhm.
and that the new accessory buildings ought to be typically placed as in that area behind the primary buildings. I realize there's no spot on this property for that to happen, but that may therefore preclude any additional buildings being added to the site. So just the density and maintaining the historic character of the district, I thought that that was made difficult by this addition.
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody that, I mean, it's a guideline, you know, and it says are typically located behind the property, the primary building.
Which is the case in that particular neighborhood.
Yeah, yeah. But I think when you look at 9.1.4, the introduction of new accessory buildings, should be cited in a manner which reflects historic
development
and located
patterns.
as so as not to obscure historic buildings on the site.
Well, it doesn't do
The
that.
design must be compatible, which it is with the historic, with the historic surrounding architecture on the property, so it is compatible with the house. So it does, it does and it doesn't, sort of, you know, but it's not like we have a mortal sin here where it says it has to,
Nobody died.
Nobody died, we understand the circumstances, I think if they move it back as far as they can on the property that they're allowed to, you know, that certainly is a concession that
Correct,
helps.
however, the
That
size
helps.
again is too large, and I
Yeah.
think also just in keeping with the rest of the neighborhood, that the building itself is too large for that accessory. I know that there are other double garages within a wider range, but
Mhm.
not in that singular neighborhood, and if so, they are behind the house, so
Okay.
that they're not visible. Again, I go back to the density, and I just think it
Yep.
adds a lot to everything that's going on
Yep.
in that particular
Can I
area.
speak to the compatibility? You said 9.1.4, but I see it as 9.1.2, new accessory buildings on historic properties.
Right, it's not on a
Well, it's not a
non-historic.
historic property. This is a non-historic
Because they
house.
took down
Yeah,
the,
this
because
is
they
a
took down the
non-historic
historic
house.
house there.
Yeah, for whatever reason,
So then
when
we
that
ignore
happened,
the
it's
historicness
not
of the
relevant right now. It's
appropriateness. I
not,
mean,
it's a non-historic property
okay, in a historic district.
in a historic district.
So it's a new accessory to a non-historic,
Yeah,
It's a non-historic.
yep, non-historic building, and it's a new accessory building, so
it
that's.
still says reflects historic.
Old dirt does not
I
make
know,
it
I know.
historic.
It still says in a manner which reflects historic development patterns.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
So,
there's-
I mean, you know, we're
there's
trying
a lot
to
of gray
create, yeah,
area
there's a
here.
lot of
There's
gray.
a lot of gray area, there's no question about it. I mean, the sensitivity of the Woods Hole area,
Mm-hmm.
the street, again, whatever circumstances arose, that house was torn down and this was replaced, we can't go back there. This is a non-historic house
Mm-hmm.
that we're dealing with. This is not an unusual outbuilding for a non-historic house.
But garages should be cited in a manner which reflects historic development patterns.
Right,
Yep.
Yeah.
And granted,
it's too large.
they've done the best they can, at least based on regulations. Now, if that's not good enough, it's not good enough. I mean, I'm just saying that,
I mean, it could be even better as an application as a one-car garage, which I think I said before.
okay, I don't recall that, but
Yeah.
certainly that could be an option.
Still not positive it's cited properly.
Yeah.
With the historic patterns, but.
Yep. So, I mean, are there any questions for the applicant that the board might have, like about the size with the, I don't think we want to talk about changing the whole application here now at this point.
No, but you could, you can always make a motion for a conditioned approval.
Oh, right.
If you so choose.
Right, if it's just a dimensional thing that somebody agrees to. Unless the applicant wanted to, if someone was interested in asking them to turn this into a one-car garage application of X number of feet.
I'm not necessarily motivated to do that.
Yeah, so, let them come back and ask for that if it gets denied. We could leave it that way. I don't think I'd go there right now. But I probably do think that it may be appropriate to ask for, in any motion, to go back to the original 22-foot that they had
But
originally
we-
agreed to.
But we had denied it anyway.
No.
No.
that
No?
one was
The
larger.
22?
No.
Okay, I'm not,
Larger.
I'm confused.
Can I give you some of
Yeah.
the, because I wrote down the history for you, because I
Thank
thought
you.
that might be an issue. Because we incorporated the previous record from application 13.9, the first public hearing was opened on March 5th, and it was continued on April 2nd. On March 5th, with the original application, the width was 24 feet. It was 24 by 24. And for the April 2nd application, there was a revised plan submitted for 22 feet wide
Right.
for a 22 by 24 building. Your new application here, 13-43, you held the hearing June 11th, and the plan submitted for the record returned back to the March plan of 24 feet wide, and I think
Right.
24 by 24.
24 by 24. So
Well,
you
those aren't
had
the
a,
same
you
plan,
had a
yeah.
revision you had a revision for the continuation in April that cut off 2 feet.
So what are we dealing with now? The one that's the
N-
24 by
now
24?
Now you're dealing with 24 by
And the
24.
only difference is it doesn't have dormers.
Does not have the dormers.
That's
Correct.
basically the only,
I
Thing
think
we're
the
looking
roof pitch, I think they.
The eaves were
A
lowered,
little bit lower, right, they talked about a little
The
bit.
eaves, but not the,
Slight
not
height.
the ridge.
right, and also pushed back 2 feet towards the pond.
Right, away from the street,
Mhm.
so, I mean, we can deal with it as a motion of approving, if we want to conditionalize it, we could approve a garage as presented if they would scale it back to 22 feet. We have that option to do. We could vote on as presented, 24 by 24. Either one, I guess. It may not make any difference.
The difference is 8% of floor area.
Say it again?
8% of floor area.
Floor area.
But I think the point is they were willing to give that concession and then sort of took it back. So that's why it only becomes a relevant issue. I don't care whether they're applying for 30 or 40 or 60 feet.
I just asked a question.
It's that they
Who says-
conceded that originally.
Who says that's as far back as you can move it?
I understand it's conservation. Do you have a question? Bob Ahmed is here.
Who said where's the applicant?
The proposed location of the garage puts it at the minimum setback from the conservation, under the conservation regulations from Mill Pond.
And that doesn't allow a variance or I don't know their procedures or their rules. Do they allow variances or is it?
There is a variance procedure. I don't think that the applicant could meet the standard.
so it can't go back any further?
According to
That's
conservation.
correct. As proposed, it's 28 feet from the street.
It proposed it was 28, because I thought it went to 30 at one point. We have some,
If I can, the testimony that you heard was that it's 30 feet from the sidewalk. It's 28 feet from the property line.
Mhm.
The sidewalk is
Another
in the
2
road
feet.
layout 2 feet.
Oh, so that's the confusing. Okay.
yeah, that's it. See, the measurements are depending on where you stand, I guess.
Mhm. Yes, please always measure from the layout line.
And the layout line is the property line.
Right, is the property line.
So that's the 28.
Okay. So, I mean, I don't know that, you know, the dimensions are gonna make a huge difference here tonight. What I think I might propose is that we might vote on the application as proposed and see where that goes. see where the feeling is, or do you want to, in case it passes, do you want to put it with an amendment or conditional to the 22 inches? Sorry. Yeah, it's not a plant shed, yeah, feet, 22 foot. So in the case that it does pass, that condition is already in there?
Yes.
That might make
Probably.
sense, yeah. So why don't I make a motion that we accept the application of the proposed garage at the proposed siding pending approval by conservation for this variance, with dimensions of 24 foot in length and 22 inches in width as originally. Feet, sorry. 24 feet in length and 22 feet in width as they originally had conceded in the previous application. So that would be the motion. So the two conditional aspects is that the variance gets approved by conservation for the siting.
It wouldn't be a variance, it
Or
would be a
whatever the allowance,
modification
yeah.
of their order.
Yeah, but they allow this siting.
You know how I feel about variances.
I know, okay. The siting and the dimensions. So there's two conditional aspects to the motion that differ from the proposal. That two other things would have to happen for an approval, if it gets approved. So that's the way the motion is worded.
Read it again, say it again.
That I propose that we accept the application as presented with the conditions that the siding, which is this, the setback siding, gets approved, and that the dimensions of the proposed garage go back to what they had conceded, which is 24 foot in length and 22 foot in width, if that's even acceptable to them. Okay, so that would be the motion. So there's two sets of conditions there that would have to be met for the approval to, in effect, trigger. So that's the motion that we can vote on, approve or deny. Okay? So is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Me? Aye.
Yes or no?
All opposed?
All opposed?
So we're in a tie.
Does not,
So
does
it does
not
not
pass.
pass.
Could I ask, on a point of order, at the beginning of the meeting, you did not announce whether or not Tamsin George, as an alternate, would be voting.
I didn't bring my letter with me, but I am
Are you
a
now a
commissioner.
full member, Tamsin?
I am a full member,
Thank you.
as of whatever the selectmen's meeting was on June
June
something
3rd.
3rd.
Actually, as of yesterday.
As of yesterday,
Was
I
your
got sworn in.
beginning
So
of
you're
the-
very close.
I had seen you refer to her as an alternate.
Yes, I know. And then I went to that selectmen's meeting and, you shouldn't do that.
Thanks for that point of order, Gene. We neglected to announce that, or I neglected to announce
Well, and
that.
you also have been reappointed.
I have been reappointed, yes, as of yesterday, to the board. So the motion is denied, based on a tie vote, no majority.
So let me explain something here. You have to take a final action, which means that a written decision gets filed with the town clerk. For your final action, would you like to offer any reason for your denial?
Just the discussion that we had, I would assume.
Inappropriate density,
Historic development pattern.
incongruous to the streetscape.
Let me,
Something better?
let me think of something else. You had a motion, you had a positive motion that did not pass. I recommend that you now draft a motion to deny with the findings that you want identified in that motion.
And why are you suggesting this? From a
I
historical
think this-
perspective and precedent, or?
I think you should always record the
Yeah.
reason. You
Okay.
should always tell people why you're
Yeah.
saying no.
Yep, I agree.
Okay.
So,
So it would be a new motion. to deny.
Oh, okay, right now.
Okay, well, I'll second.
Well, you would have to, I can't make a motion.
He just said it. He just said it. So we make a motion to
I
deny
made
the
the motion to
application.
approve, so we should
Oh,
have
well, I'll
someone
make the
else.
motion to deny the application.
Okay.
Based on,
The historical development patterns in the area and the density and historic nature of the district, the inappropriateness of the structure. You want to add something to the motion?
Was that what?
She said,
Okay. Development patterns and I've.
Historic development patterns, just as according to the guidelines.
Okay.
Yeah,
so we're going to vote on that too.
incongruous with the historic development patterns
reflecting
of
the
the
historic
area.
development pattern.
We'll see what happens
Well,
then.
we'll be working off the same vote.
Well, let's try it.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Okay. Thanks, guys. That one doesn't carry either.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Do you want to have one that, do you want to have a majority, is this what you're looking for?
Yes, it's very
Well,
awkward to
okay,
have an
okay.
even
Awkward to
number,
have.
Okay.
even number of commissioners,
for this reason.
for this exact reason.
So I don't know what we do. I knew that was going to happen.
So it's neither approved nor denied.
It's got to be. It's got to be one or the other. It can't continue, because if it continues, it gets approved.
This is why we need an alternate.
This is why you need a full complement.
Yeah, it is really. We do need to have more people.
Should we talk more about our individual
I think you need to,
aspects?
Well, I think we need to talk it through and come up with a motion that's going to pass, one way or the other.
yes,
Yes or no?
that's exactly what you need to do.
We need to do that, because we can't leave it as a hung jury.
Sure.
Okay. So I think the discussion about the first vote about, that was not approved, about passing the existing garage
With the conditions.
with the conditions. I mean, I don't know that there's anything else we can add to modify that to make it worded in any different way. We can't say, gee, if it was 5 foot more, back on the property, let's put that condition into, because it's not a realistic condition. The only other thing we could say is, would it make addition if we said, let's put a motion out there for a one-car garage? And the applicant may not accept that, but
Well, that's okay, you don't have to worry about that. Right now, all you're worried about is something that 3 out of 4 of you can agree on.
Well, doesn't everybody agree that this siting does not reflect historic development patterns?
Yes.
Yeah, I would agree to that, but then I would also argue that this is not a historic house because it's a new house. So then you have to figure out, do you need to have the historic siting of the garage because it's with a new house?
Well,
Of course, then you can't put it that far back because you've got Eel Pond, it would be in the water.
But it matches the house, it's a nice looking little garage, but it doesn't reflect the historic development pattern.
Right.
No, I don't think it does. But I'm not sure that that's applicable.
Well, it's certainly given in the guidelines, and so that's just definitely something that has to be taken into consideration. I mean, it's
Yeah.
unfortunate that the property itself, let's say, isn't more historically, architecturally aligned with its neighbors.
Yeah.
You're right, we can't change that. I did point out the last time, though, at this second application, that the roof line of the garage is not the same as the roof line of the house. And so that, for me, that was also something that makes it look additionally that much more imposing and ill-placed. So that was one of my.
I don't remember that.
Well,
That would
it's
be,
true, and I did ask the
that would
architect.
be a concern.
Mhm.
Yeah,
You can take a look at the pictures.
Yeah.
and we did have a response about,
Just whether what was possible and not possible, and that's when I
Right.
raised the question of whether it could be a one-car garage, because then you could possibly get the roof pitches more aligned to one another between,
Yeah.
Is it
between the
too
house.
shallow?
It's too,
Let me find a picture of the main gables on the house.
right. I'm not sure it's in that part of it.
They're at the, I only have the reduced board that he had, but
Okay.
the gables on the main house are in that.
Right, and this is flattened out from that. This is a higher, this is a narrower pitch, this is a flattened pitch, and that's why I said if you needed a narrower building, you'd be able to reduce the pitch.
Is that why they lowered the eaves?
I don't know.
Because indeed, this is a different, and actually, that's a little
Different
different from
profile.
that
The more
one.
you match pitches, the
The
better.
less it seems inappropriate to that site.
yeah. That looks like an addition,
It's clearly,
yeah. It's not in the same style.
right.
So a condition would be then to have the pitch of the garage roof match the pitch of the front gable.
Could be.
It could be.
That would work better.
But to getting into the part of now we're starting to redesign the
Redesign, right,
garage,
and we
isn't
don't
it
wanna
more
do that.
appropriate that it gets denied and the
Right,
applicant
that's why I
comes
said that was
back?
what, another thing that led me
If
to
they
my
think that that would be,
conclusion.
it would be a way of,
So that would be a reason for, that would
It's
be.
a concern because it further, sort of differentiates it from the other historical architecture in the neighborhood. Even though the new house isn't that, it doesn't even match the new house, so it's even more, more of a standout.
So that would be something, that would be a redesign you'd want to see.
Well, we didn't say that, I just said, you said a reason why it is,
A reason why.
again, incongruous with the setting.
Okay.
if the denial goes through, that would be enough of a change to allow for a reapplication? That's a
That would
question
be
mark.
a-
That's a question mark.
That would be up to you to decide if it's a material
Material
enough change.
And does that trump all the other reasons? It may not.
It's just another concern, you asked me what the other
Right.
concerns
Yeah.
were.
Right. So you don't have a motion on the table.
Yeah,
No, we're just talking about it.
Yep.
yeah.
So if that's going to go on the balance sheet on either as a conditioned approval or a reason for denial, and it can go either way, it has to go into another motion.
I would not want to put it in a motion for approval,
Okay.
because what we have done is we're redesigning the garage.
Okay.
And I don't want us to get into that. Like I said, I'd rather we deny it if that's the case, and then a redesign comes back, whatever that may look like, whether it's one-car garage, lowered roof, whatever it is. That's not our, I don't think that's our role to do.
Right. I
That's why I'd
understand.
rather
Yeah,
not
I-
put it as a condition of an approval and
Okay.
At this point,
and have us get
you
into
can't
the
see-
architectural business, then we'll put you out of work.
I'm not at that, that's not my business.
Okay. Okay.
You can't see the density there, makes it, you can't see it anyway, but if it works better with the big building.
Well, you will see it, that's not true, you will see it.
Yes, yes. but if it
Because
works
the
with
vegetation will be removed that's currently there, so you will see it, it's not that you
Yeah,
won't see
But you still
it.
won't be able to see beyond it, but if it works
Correct.
with the big building,
The reason that she asked for reasons
Right.
that why, other
Right.
reasons why I felt was incongruous
Yep.
with the
So-
setting.
if he comes back at another point with something that works a little bit better with the bigger building, I would,
Mhm.
The design's not an issue for me, it's the.
but I would deny it now if it.
Historic,
I
the
like how it
development
looks. I
pattern.
think it's a nice looking thing, it just
Mhm.
belongs in the back of the house.
Right,
Mhm.
it's the siting and the development pattern. I mean, those are the strongest reasons
Yeah.
that it's of concern, so, I mean, we can take a vote again to deny.
Yeah.
based on these reasons?
Yeah, we have to.
Should I make a motion
Yeah.
to deny based on the
Yeah.
reasons and discussion
Yeah,
of the,
Can you repeat that?
sorry?
Are you making a motion?
I was
She's making a
making
motion.
a
She hasn't
motion to
made it yet.
deny to, because of the historic development patterns and the incongruity with the setting as Justice.
Is that a different motion than you made last time?
She's gonna add
Uh,
to it.
We added a couple of reasons. I'm going to add having to do with the incongruity of the architectural design from, with the existing property setting. Is that
Specifically the pitch.
specifically the
it's more
pitch is of
specific.
concern?
Okay.
Second?
Second, all in favor of this motion?
I'll
Aye.
switch my vote, I'll say aye.
All opposed? So we have a denial.
Thank you.
Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your help there. Okay. Public hearing number 13-49, Eric Johnson for 145 Main Street, a sign.
Find that for
Oh, here's oh, I can't believe you guys.
745 Main Street.
Yep. Before we get started in the design, Eric, I just want to clarify, there's a discrepancy between the Historic District Commission application and the sign permit application. The Town of Falmouth sign application calls for a hanging sign and a wall sign?
No,
No, I just want to clarify that there's
What
an
am I s-
inconsistency. We didn't notice that before because it is not on our application. So let's just,
Oh, okay, so on the building, existing on the building,
Yes.
not for my storefront.
no, for you.
Oh.
There's a request.
Oh, I misunderstood that. I thought it was asking what is currently on the building.
No, there's, on the Town of Falmouth application, you've asked for a hanging sign and a wall sign.
No, not at all.
Okay.
And the confusion there in Martha's Vineyard, I remember when I was applying for a sign, that the existing square footage of the total signs on the building was irrelevant.
All right,
So
I'm just going to cross this
please, so
hanging,
no hanging sign.
no hanging
This is
sign.
gonna just go on the front, on the facade.
Yes, on the front, it's a flat sign, and,
Okay, no, I just wanted to clarify that contradiction so that we're clear on what we're talking about. Okay,
and the sign is less than the allowed, it's about 14 square feet. It's
Okay.
16 square feet, which is the
Okay.
linear footage of the shop.
okay. So these were your other options that you proposed. And to not drag this out, I'm not trying to curtail any conversation or discussion, but, I mean, my opinion was, I like your top sign very much. It's the less busy, but without the 33 toppings. So if you had your first option, which I think was your original,
Yes,
without that word in that bubble,
uh-huh. Without any words in the bubble?
without any words in the bubble, I could approve that.
You have that on the number 2.
No, no, it's not the same.
It's not the same.
This
Lot
doesn't
more
say-
bubbles.
Well,
Lot
could I-
more bubbles.
Could I say something? Just to clarify the process with my graphic designer. When I told her that, because you guys made it very clear for your decision last time, that you felt it was too much like a billboard and there was too much information basically kind of advertising the products, whereas, as opposed to just the name of the shop.
Yeah,
So as you see in the first alternate, it completely just says the name of the shop. The full name is
Yep.
Tisbury Frozen Yogurt and Smoothies. I told my designer that basically if you take the text out of the right bubble on the top one, which is our existing
Yeah.
Martha's Vineyard sign, that the right bubble doesn't really make much sense anymore because the size of it was really
To incorporate the words.
to incorporate, yeah. So what she did, and I do understand that obviously there are more bubbles and you asked me to simplify the sign, which at the beginning of the meeting, it suddenly dawned on me, what the heck? But the rationale for that is that in order to make the bubbles make sense and to make it interesting without the additional text, she added a little bit more. So no added colors, in my opinion. Frankly, I know I would be happy with that one,
Which one?
the first choice.
Oh,
So the second one on the list.
Yeah.
oh, the second one on the
Yeah,
list.
I mean,
Okay.
That looks good.
of course, the sign, the top sign, the one I presented last time, is the sign we have in Martha's Vineyard, and I love it, and people know it, and it's our look, and it's tied to our graphic design with our cups and everything that we've worked very hard on.
Yeah,
So
think
I was
this-
very attached to that. But on further reflection, I did agree that, the amount of text just saying Tisbury Frozen Yogurt and Smoothies is fine.
Yeah.
Perfectly happy with that. So-
Berry says smoot, and smoothies say smoothies, and,
Yeah. I mean, I could live with that.
Yeah,
I could
I
live
could
with that,
absolutely.
too.
Wait, am I changing the subject by talking about the colors yet?
No?
We're talking about the sign, so everything's relevant.
Pink
And
and
I
green,
have the.
Pink and
color.
green?
pink and green, hot pink and lime green.
Yeah.
It's very
Last-
preppy.
It seemed like last week we didn't like it, but I think it's hot.
It wasn't that, there was just a lot of colors, a lot of words. It was such a busy sign that was
Well,
the
I
issue,
think
was the
about too many
busyness.
words, but-
Yeah, it was the busyness of
And,
it.
so
Yeah,
that
they're the
reflects how the
Yeah.
colors will look,
Yeah.
hand
They're a little
painted.
toned down.
It's not neon, it's not, I mean, as I stated before, I think it really does reflect the fun, fruity aspect of what we provide.
Is that the correct?
So the pink's not so bright.
It's not
Yeah,
pink.
yeah.
That's the very
It's
No, it's not really pink.
It's more of a purple. I like the pink.
Magenta.
I like
Two
the
pinks
pink
there.
better.
No, I like the magenta, actually.
And it's
I
when you
think
put them
that's
next to each other that they start to vibrate.
It tone-
Yeah.
They tone down a little bit,
good.
too.
Yeah, from the printed.
They tone down, so. We okay with
Yeah, I'm okay
option one?
with-
Well, we're gonna call this one option one,
Okay.
which is the one, the longer one with no words in any of the bubbles.
Yeah.
So do I make a motion that we accept option one?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm very grateful to you.
You got it.
We're gonna come see.
Good luck in
Yeah.
your business.
Exactly. That'll be good.
Thank you.
So. Thirteen 51, Sue and Larry Ball at 53 Old Main Road. Are you getting any sign-ins here, April? Are you?
Good evening.
You getting
Getting
these names
sign-
down, or?
Can you sign in?
no?
Excited?
Please. You might just want to write Eric Johnson as the first presenter, just for your own benefit.
Well, that was after Sally was here earlier. She presented earlier. I think
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
Sally also presented earlier.
Yeah,
Get- yeah.
thank you. Okay,
Hi, I'm John Clark, I'm the contractor, I'm representing my clients tonight, Larry and Sue Ball.
okay, let's go.
Okay, you have the application before you. It's basically what my clients are looking to do, is just renew all the exterior aspects of the house. The house is a non-historic house located on Old Main Road. They're looking to replace the doors. The front door is an existing steel door. They'd like to replace it with a fiberglass 6-light door painted in the trim color, which is a Grecian green, which is similar to what's there now. They have a rear side door that's a steel door. They're going to replace it with the exact same style door. Style panel of glass in fiberglass. It's also painted in the trim color. You have the specifications for those doors in front of you.
Mhm.
We're also going to replace all the existing gutters and down
Sorry,
some.
just let me show the
Again,
board
it's in
the
trim color.
proposed door.
Uh-huh.
It's the proposed front door. We don't care about the back door because it's, we don't talk about that because it's not in our,
I'm sorry.
the back door is not in our view, so we won't talk about
Okay.
it. Okay.
That's fine. We'd also like to replace the existing 3-tab loose shingles with the ICO Cambridge architectural shingles
Yeah,
in dual gray. And you have that information in front of you.
yeah. Now, one of the things when I looked at this application, because I think we'll talk about it as we go along,
Okay.
just consider, I mean, with a shingled, a weathered shingled house, I would have thought that a driftwood or a dark brown might have looked better than a very light gray, which almost is gonna scream like a replacement roof, where the other at least would blend in with the shingle colors. I mean, would you consider that?
You asking if you consider a brown rather than a gray?
There's
It's
two browns on here.
on the-
There's a lighter brown, which is what's called earth tone cedar, and then there's a dual brown, which is a darker, but they all, or a driftwood, which all have that sort of that shingle roof look. And we've
So
seen
you're
other
looking to
properties.
replicate the look of like cedar shingles.
Well, and it also goes better with the shingled house, as opposed to a light gray, which is gonna scream new construction to me, you know?
I'm sure my clients would be willing to take that into consideration.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you could look at that, then we could approve that. You could just call it into the office, the change.
In conjunction with replacing the roof, we're going to replace the existing skylight with a new Velux skylight. It's actually a low profile. It comes in a brown terratone color, so if you do go with the brown roof shingles, it'll blend in even better.
Yes.
Any siding replacement that's going to take place is just to replace any siding that we need to remove and replacing the windows. We're not looking to replace all the siding on the house, except in the back. Again, that's not visible from the street. This exterior trim, my client wants us to replace a lot of the exterior trim because it's rotted. It'll all be painted in the green. They did ask me to ask if you would consider replacing with plastic trim. This is more cost effective.
Yeah.
And it's a one-time, given that the house is not historical.
We don't give that yet, even on non-historical properties.
I'm sorry?
We haven't given that yet on even on non-historical properties.
Not on the
'cause we just-
front, not on the front.
Not on anywhere.
I beg to differ, I think we did on,
We did on one house,
Could I ask,
Shore Road.
near the water.
may I ask what the rationale is behind that?
Because we're not sure really how it's really weathers in time, so, you know, it could have that artificial look even though it's not a historic house. We understand that.
You know how plastic hardens and then it can crack and show, you know, multiple crack lines, just.
Well, I have extensive experience working with the product, and
Which is
I
the
find it
product?
cost superior to wood, and it does have longevity. The wood could not match.
What's the product? It says here with wood.
But it was also asked if you would consider it.
Oh.
I didn't include it, I mean, if you,
What's the
because we weren't
product?
sure, it doesn't say in the guidelines specifically that you're not allowed to use plastic. I couldn't find that in the guidelines.
Yeah,
But I do know that it's precedent in the past, we said no,
Right.
especially in a historical house.
right.
On a non-historical house, it's going to be painted a dark color. It's going to be very difficult to distinguish it between wood and, I mean, if you're a purist and you know wood, you may be able to pick up. But the majority of the people viewing
Yeah.
it, they won't know it's not wood.
Like I said, we haven't, where it's visible, we have not approved it, even on new construction like these condominiums. We denied it on there as well, so I don't think this is a watershed decision here that we're gonna suddenly do it for the first time.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
You say it doesn't last, wood doesn't last, but there's houses that are 200-300 years old, they're all wood.
Correct.
I'm not denying wood, well, that's to be said, because oak grove wood has been found to last longer. The newer type of wood, the fast-growing wood, I know from my own experience, even pressure treated is rotten.
It depends,
Yeah.
but imagine what this synthetic trim would look like in 20 years, or 40 years, or 80 years, or 100 years. Take a piece of plastic, leave it outside for 100 years, what's it gonna look like?
You know, so, I think
We'll
the
know
point
soon.
is though, you
Well,
asked
Plastic
us
has been around
if
since
we
the
would
40s.
consider it, and we're not
30s
prepared to
and
consider it
40s.
at this point in our time.
You were talking about some of the
So
side
let me
yards.
ask this question. What part of the house is not within the purview and can use plastic?
Parts of the house, the back, where we can't see, like the back door, we really don't have jurisdiction over any parts of a property that is not visible from the public way. So if you wanted to do the trim around this new back door in the PVC, you could do that.
It's just my clients would really prefer to use the PVC. Windows, we have existing Anderson vinyl clad windows in Terratone. We're going to replace them with the exact same windows. So there isn't going to be any change in size or color. The units are all located on the second floor. Technically, only 2 of them are visible from the street.
That's those end ones.
Side porch railings will be replaced in kind. They also asked handrail. There's 2 steps, and they asked that a handrail be added on each side, simply just to make it safer to go up the steps.
So what,
I don't have a picture. There is a picture there of the porch.
I don't know, I didn't see it on the application, I didn't see it. Are you replacing these?
Replacing,
Front
These
steps.
existing wrought iron rails?
no, we are not.
Oh. So,
Again, the porch I'm talking about, the replacement is on the side of the house. It is visible from the
This
street.
is the side door. So this, where these
This
rails
is
are
the side
here,
door that's actually visible from the street.
this,
Those railings there are going to be replaced.
they're gonna be replaced, and then also handrails added on the side.
Correct.
so is this where the door is going?
No, is that a new
Replacement
That's
door?
the side door,
That's the side door.
visible from the street. Both doors are visible from the street.
Is the
So-
side door being
So this is where a
replaced?
replacement door is going, a steel door?
I'm sorry?
It says front, replace existing
fiberglass,
steel door
sorry,
with
okay.
fiberglass.
So you're
painted to
replacing it
go-
with a fiberglass door?
Yeah.
Fine.
Rear,
Okay,
it doesn't
sorry.
say side. It doesn't say side door. Should we add side door?
Rear, oh, I'm sorry, I should say side, where it says
Okay,
rear.
okay.
I'll change that.
Yeah, okay. That's what was confusing about, we were commenting, we weren't interested because it said back door, rear door.
That was my mistake, I'm
Okay,
sorry.
But he wants to add railings now, both
Okay.
here and here.
okay.
I understand.
The same,
The only thing we're going to change on the railings is rather than have the railings go down to the deck, there's going to be a sub-rail.
Mm-hmm. You know what he's saying?
no.
No? It's
I
gonna
don't.
go like this, it's gonna go, the rail, sorry, my pen doesn't work. It's gonna go like this, sub-rail, and this
Yeah.
is the deck, so
Yeah.
you see a space in between
Oh,
the
yeah, yeah,
rail.
yeah, oh, I see.
Sure.
So is this is being replaced?
Yes.
Oh, okay, okay.
Here's the
Sorry.
spec sheet.
Side porch rounds replaced with in-kind handrail added to the steps, all material to be red cedar, left natural.
But he's actually changing the configuration then
Yes.
as well, so that should be added,
Yeah.
that's not, again, not clear, so
You
this
probably
is,
should
be-
add just a quick sketch that you have to make for your contractor or something.
so this is all being replaced in the new configuration, and then extended down.
Yeah.
Yes,
Rail
it's
comes
just simply
down,
going to be two,
Yeah.
No
just to
problem,
make, because my clients are getting
Yep.
older, they want to be able to get in.
no problem, I just want to be clear on the application that we know what we're approving.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Can I make a comment? You got a non-historic house that already has a skylight, aluminum gutters, steel door, vinyl windows. I really don't care what he does over there.
Is that your comment?
That's coming.
Put plastic trim on it, put vinyl siding on it, who cares? It's not a,
Well, it would look, I think what they're planning to do is gonna make it look a whole lot better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if you were to take off the skylight and put on wooden gutters and put on a wooden door and put in wooden windows, you'd have a charming little place. The proportions are nice and it's a nice little house, but you're not proposing that.
Well, I think what they're proposing is gonna look much better than it is.
A little better.
Just taking a metal door off the front.
Yeah.
But, Tom, if you want to make that motion, you can. So are we through all the proposed changes that he's put on his list?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Adding and editing.
Yeah, so we know the side door, we know that everything's gonna have a,
So,
yeah, the thing, it'll make it look fine.
It's better than, it's fine.
well, we have two options, Tom. I mean, if you feel strongly about your option, then you probably should make that motion first. Because if I make the motion to approve what he's presented, then you're gonna be trumped and you won't get a chance, so. I don't want to crowd you out of the,
Move to accept what he asked for.
what he asked for is wood trim on this application.
On the application.
Okay, so you're fine with that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what it says on the application.
Second?
Yeah, I'll second it.
Do you want a condition of a brown roof?
It'll just look a lot better.
That
It
they
would
would
look
come
like
back with a selection that was.
Can we
Just let us
condition,
know.
why don't we condition the brown roof? It really would look a lot better. And if your applicant, or the homeowners have a serious problem, we can talk about it.
But how about if you give us the plastic trim, we give you the.
No, put the gray on.
Is it trade off?
No, put the gray on.
We're letting you keep the skylight,
I had
too.
that asked.
Yeah,
That gray roof is mottled with black in it. It's actually a pretty nice looking roof. It's,
not the light one.
You see the light?
It looks pretty good when you do it,
Does
Yeah.
it?
yeah. Especially on a small house.
He's a roofer, he knows.
Look better than the brown ones?
Well, the brown's kind of a fake wood color, if you ask me, what you just did.
Well, this one is, this one is, I don't like,
No,
but the driftwood is nice.
It's really nice.
Yeah. But you can ask them. They may take your design input.
Do you want to make it part of the motion?
I'd like to make it part of the motion, you know, and ask them either the driftwood or the brown, and if they come back and have a serious problem with it, I mean, we're not gonna fight them over it, but it's a suggestion, but we only get to vote once, so I'd rather incorporate it in
Yeah.
initially than try to change it later, because we'll be on record as voting.
So if I understand,
And we can do that administratively without having to go through another hearing.
so you're saying that you'll accept everything that I've on here based upon the condition that we change the roof color to brown?
Yep.
Okay.
And
No,
that's
we're
what our
supposed to-
motion will
We're
be.
supposed to make the
Okay.
motion, right?
Yes, we make the motion.
Well, no, I'm just trying to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Understand? Okay? And then, like I said, unless they have if they have a serious, like this is the homeowner's favorite color, you know, and
Or it's
they've
against
always
their
been dreaming
religion.
about this, then we can talk about it, you know, but.
So you're leaving the door open for us to revisit if they decide that they don't want that color?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, all unanimous, okay? Okay?
May I ask what happens next, because this is the first time I've done this?
If they have a serious issue, call the planning department.
Are you just asking what happens next?
Oh, sorry.
I'll write up a decision and my secretary Joyce from the planning office will call you
Okay,
when it's ready to be picked up.
okay,
And then you can get your building permit.
great, thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, application 13-52, Locust Street Sign Company for 119 Palmer Avenue.
I'll sign in and introduce myself.
Thank you.
Wait, didn't we just,
Yes.
Do this one?
We did the signs.
We did the
Oh,
signs.
we did the
This is
sign.
awnings.
Oh,
This is all about the heat.
okay.
And I'll just leave, this is
Okay.
swatch.
I was like, that was super familiar, is it changing again?
No.
No.
Signs up. we're
No,
good
no,
with
you know,
that.
that property has
Yeah, you
changed
kinda
hands
get
a
it.
lot.
Yes, yes.
We're there for a while.
I hope so, yeah.
And the sign is up and it's been very well received.
Good.
So my name is Lee Geisiger, owner of Vagabond View. We had our ribbon cutting and opening on Friday, and we had fantastic traffic this weekend thanks to the poor weather. And working with Mike at Locust Street Sign, we need awnings. The heat raises the temperature in the front of the place by about 15 degrees this time of year. So we're looking for something with a 2-foot drop, 2-foot projection, and then the measurements are on here. 2 sets of windows are 80 inches wide, 2 sets are 90 inches wide. And if you recall a few months back, Cape Chic, also on Queens Byway, the exact same measurement, exact same look, just a different color of the fabric,
They were yellow, I think.
which you did approve a few months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's nice looking.
It is, it's
Yeah,
very
it's
nice.
very,
And it's
very-
the same colors as the sign, right?
That's right,
Yep,
Very nice.
because we're all about consistency
okay. And branding.
and branding.
So
Thank you.
there's a front drop,
Yes,
front?
Looks like,
How long?
2 feet.
No,
No,
not
the
the,
projection is 2
just
feet.
the, I don't know what the correct word is for the
The
valance.
balance.
Balance.
Oh,
The stand is about 6 inches.
Yeah. So this is nothing, a standard valance, straight line, straight, no
No
scallop.
scallop or any
no
edge.
scallop and open on the ends.
Yeah. Okay. Someone make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve as,
And excuse me, before you make it, and no wording, there's no, you're not proposing
No,
it.
just the gold stripe you see on the
Yeah,
swatch.
which is
No-
in the fabric.
No wording,
Yep,
no.
okay, just want to, yep, okay, sorry. go ahead.
yep, I'll just make the motion to approve the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, 1353-53, Locust Street Sign Company, 565 Woods Hole Road.
This is, as you approach the village, it's on the right-hand side. They used to be in there with the Woods Hole Research Center. They have left, and it's, at the bottom of the sign is where the, that other information was for the research center. Now we're replacing it with, just their tagline, I guess you'd say. So we're going with a wood sign. What picture that's-
What did it say before?
It said the Woods Hole Research Center.
I can't see.
Was the sign the same size?
It's exactly the same size, same colors, except without the Woods Hole Research. Here's a larger version of it,
Yeah.
and here's the actual colors.
So you're just putting this in instead?
Well, it technically would be a new sign.
Yeah, but from,
Yeah,
I think
yes,
it looked
graphically,
really
yes.
like a big sign to me as I saw
Yeah.
it.
It is.
I thought it was huge on the side of the street there.
As you drove by,
Yeah, it just seemed like it was a big sign.
Well, it was probably large because it was incorporating 2 institutions at the time,
Mm-hmm.
so.
My only impression when I saw this, and it sort of goes back to the same thing that we talked about with the yogurt. To me, this second tagline, a transitional island experience for substance abusing young men, it's almost like an advertisement of their services, you know? And I would ask you to go back to your clients and see if that could come off and put a more appropriate tagline. Tagline being like, I looked at their website, you know, they have a simple tagline. This is not a tagline. This is
This is a description.
This is a description of services.
I think I have that in my original.
It's a lot of words.
yeah.
Mm-hmm,
it is pretty-
The website language was, I believe, an island of healing. That was after their name.
That's a tagline.
Yes.
Right.
Well, they're
Yeah.
changing what they do, so maybe they're changing their,
Well, they're
No,
not
this was
really
the new
changing.
one. This was the new one.
Yeah,
But
okay.
I think that would, yeah, it's a little tough.
First of all, it's, for readability purposes, it's a lot easier to read.
You're not gonna
you
read
know,
that driving
right.
by.
you're
No.
not gonna be able to read it very well.
Well, there's a lot of walking people, pedestrian traffic there, but.
An island of healing.
Of or for?
That should be confirmed.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I just looked quickly at who they were.
They gave me some, what they wanted on the sign, and I was like, oh, okay, then this was the second shot, I'm like, oh. And the first one was much.
Well, if you
even
could read
denser.
it, I mean, you do signs, so you know about readability.
Yeah. I mean, other than that, I mean, everything else in the sign is fine. It's a nice graphic. It's very tranquil looking, but it was just too much there, I just felt.
All right, so should I check your website and confirm it, and if that's the case, can we approve it with that? or-
Yeah, we can approve the sign as presented. The design and the colors are fine, I think. You know, I don't hear of anybody else objecting to it. And you can confirm what this is gonna be, so we can approve this conditional to what you come back with.
Okay,
And I think we would approve that, whatever the exact wording of something like that island of tranquility, island of healing, I forget what it is.
oh, half of
Something,
what they have.
whatever what is that they have, I mean, that would be appropriate, and we would be fine with that.
I think that's a great, you know, advice, because I think it's just a little worried myself.
Yeah. Okay?
All right, so If they don't want to change it, I go back.
Then you come back.
I come back for a meeting. If they do want to change it, we can do it administratively.
Yep.
And I'll.
We just need to, if you just call, we just get the exact wording.
I could email
Do-
and drop off. Okay.
Yeah, do one of these
Yes.
with the exact wording.
Yeah.
And email it to Joyce.
Okay, great.
And we'll just put it on the file. So I'll make a motion, we approve the existing sign with a change in this, I'll use for a better word, a tagline.
Is it gonna be a conditional approval?
Yeah.
It's
Here.
conditional
Yeah.
that they accept the change and that it goes to that proposal, something like a island of tranquility, an island of healing, something of that sort, whatever is, they have it already on their website.
Yeah.
And it's much more tranquil. It's much more appropriate tagline
As you
than
drive by.
than this is, yeah.
Yeah, I think a simplified message
Okay?
would work. Okay.
All right, thanks.
Did we vote?
You need to vote.
We need to
Oh, I'm
vote.
sorry, I thought we did.
No,
All
we
in
didn't.
favor?
All right.
Somebody needs a second.
Second?
Second.
Okay.
Nicole.
All in favor, aye.
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 Great, thank you very much.
Sorry. We're so excited to get through a simple one. Okay, that one better than I thought. Okay. 13-54, Susan and David Alexander, 481 Davisville Road. Roof.
1954.
Roof.
I'm very sure Sue and David were not able to come. I'm a contractor.
So we did something in this house once before, a long time ago.
Thank you.
We could put anything in there.
A picture of the house. It
They
seems
did
like
say
we,
you had these samples over there?
seems like I remember
Yeah, we
doing
have your
something.
brochure
Okay.
for Weatherwood.
They have existing right now, cedar, asphalt shingles on the top and the rear of the house. Cedar shingles exposed to the front street and along the side of the house. And they want to take the cedars off and put the asphalts all the way around.
Wow. Is there something wrong with the cedar?
I don't think they're that old. They, I don't know who installed them and when they were installed, and they're cupped, and they've had leak problems in some areas, so we prefer to put on a soundproofing system.
Yeah. So what's, is this gonna match the back of the house? or-
Yes.
So what's existing on the back?
Ed, if I could ask, is this the house where there's a pool in the back with an L that,
Yes.
and the roof was put on probably a year and a half ago in the rear?
Yes.
So you have seen this
I thought we
in the
had-
back?
Okay,
It's got a big dormer, right? Like a
Right,
whole
shed-
length,
a shed in the
a
back,
whol
yes.
length shed dormer.
On a
And then
corner?
just the apron in the back was done, basically.
So everybody but Nicole has seen the back of this house.
okay. Thought it sounded familiar, the address, but, okay. So what you have on the back is something we've just approved.
Yes,
So you're just gonna replicate that?
exactly.
Okay.
And it matches the house next door and a couple down the street.
So which one are we,
So they're
Which one is they
proposing the weathered wood here.
okay.
Yeah, okay, good.
And it is a 1954 house.
Yeah, okay. Now, what is this piece in the
It's a
front?
curtain.
It's a what?
It
Keeps
keeps
the water from landing on the front door.
Ah, okay.
'Cause
That's
they
what I
don't- they
thought,
don't
but
have
I've
any
never seen
standard
one
being
before.
overhang, yeah.
I've
You
never
have to
seen
have
one.
that.
Keeps icicles down.
Oh, okay. Okay, so it just diverts the water.
Hmm.
I
She didn't
see.
get poured on.
I gotcha. Okay.
Can I make a comment here?
Yeah.
Our job is to preserve the look of the historic district. And these asphalt shingles look enough like what you had that I don't see any reason to object to it. But as a side comment, which maybe I'm not out of line here, you do realize it makes the house a lot noisier. Cooler in the summer with the wood shingles, warmer in the winter with the wood shingles, and quieter year-round. So even though our purview is looks, which you will probably get permission for, there's a lot of other reasons to keep a wood roof. I'll explain that to them.
decision.
Okay, can I have a motion?
Make a motion, we accept this proposal.
I second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? No. Unanimous. You're all
Thank you very
set.
much. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Do I
Okay,
need to recuse myself on this one?
sorry?
On this letter, should I just recuse myself and then should I just leave the room? because
There's
I'm
no
working
vote.
over?
There's
No,
nothing.
there is a vote.
There is a vote?
You do
Oh,
need a
sorry.
vote, yes.
Okay, so I'll recuse myself on that.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
Yep.
do I have to leave?
You do have to leave.
Okay, that's no
Yep.
problem. I'll be back.
There is correspondence that we have received from a Met Law firm. We-
And the
and-
contractor is
and-
here to explain.
Okay, yep. So they've requested a modification in 40 Main Street to add a second means of egress, being a staircase, which will be on the Dimick house. At the
Yep,
front
right.
of the house. Now, just for the purpose of the record, we have already approved administratively a second egress on the carriage house, which is not visible. It's at the back, it's at the rear of the carriage house, so we have approved that. But
Yeah,
we have
this
not
one, right,
approved
coming right down the front.
coming right down the front.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I don't understand how we vote and hear this when there's no application. Because it's an extension of the existing
It's
one?
yeah, so it would be a modification of 13-3.
Someplace
And it was a letter to ask you to do both of these staircases
Administrative.
administratively. You agreed
Yep.
to do one, declined to do the other.
Yep.
So that's why it's here for the whole commission to talk about. And this was submitted today. This is a letter from the architect. So you may not have had a chance to read that yet.
It concerns me that this is coming right down
Yeah,
onto
me
the
too.
village green.
That's why I wanted to talk about it tonight. So just to make sure I understand this letter, there is another option?
No, there's, the builder and the architect don't feel there really is another option. They considered whether it was possible to have an interior set of stairways, stairs that would provide the second means of egress. And it would, as the architect said in the letter, make two rooms of the house really dysfunctional and adversely impact the historic interior of the house, and also be visible because it would block windows that it would pass inside. The only viable way of complying with the code requirement seems to be as proposed, given the setbacks of the building. And it's in the most, proposal puts the staircase in the most inconspicuous area. It's true that the stairs go towards Hewen Street, but they're up against a side of the wall and significantly subordinate to the front view of the main house, so that those stairs reach the ground almost where the porch begins to come out from the house. From most angles, you won't see the stairs. The only place you'll see the stairs from is if you were directly in front of that area looking through there, where actually today there's very limited view because of the vegetation that's been there for many, many years, and there's no proposal to remove the stairs themselves will be of the same materials as the rest of the house, trim and so on, although the balustrade is not proposed to be as fancy as the balustrade on the porch and the stairs to the porch, which actually seems quite appropriate. When the proposed rehabilitation of this building was proposed, the architect believed that a second means of egress was not required because it was a historic building. It was only after the plans were approved and construction was underway that the building commissioner determined that the second means of egress would be required. I think that overall the proposal is an intricate part of preserving and protecting this building. And that's exactly what the Historic District Commission calls for in the promotion of the general welfare of the town through the preservation and protection of historical buildings. This won't have a significant adverse impact on the appearance of the house for the reasons I've cited. It's quite subordinate and to the rear of the actual front of the house and blocked by vegetation and building from most angles. But it's simply absolutely necessary to be done in connection with a project which I think you'll agree has proven to be setting the standard for what you'd like to have done to historic buildings in town. I think that this builder developer needs your help on this issue. Anything to add, Ralph?
No, I did take some pictures of the look from the front. The plans are a little bit deceiving, and I took it from 3 different angles, and there's only one angle, this one, where you might be able to peek around the side and see anything. Several angles, you know, it's just not visible at all.
It's just that there's a
I
tree.
mean, there's one angle that you would see if you peeked around the corner. You'd see a little bit of the stairs coming down.
By the time you get in front of the facade of the house, as opposed to the porch, you know, you're just at the last couple of steps, the last 3 or 4 steps coming down to the ground.
Is there any public commentary on 40 Main Street? I'll close the public commentary. I know, let's close the public commentary. Now we're onto the board. Okay, now you can.
Looks like a good idea to me. You're covering the AC unit and the bulkhead. And as you pointed out, it'd be a shame to ruin the downstairs and the upstairs of the house just to get a second means of egress in there. When you can put it totally unobtrusively on the side of this house, I think it's a good idea.
Well, that wasn't a question, that was a statement. Yeah, I don't see it as being unobtrusive. I mean, I just see it almost, it turns, I think is an absolutely magnificent job that you're doing. You know, almost it looks like a fire escape or a tenement house or something. That's,
It
unfortunately, that's what my original thought was, because the job you're doing is so good that I hate to see this thing going on. That was my impression of looking at this staircase. And I did go by the property, I looked through the trees, you know, the trees are not always there, you know, they're not there in the winter, and I just saw it as a distraction, or detraction, maybe both.
I don't know if we have, I'd love to say we can't do this, because I think it's horrible to put this on the front of this house. But I don't know that there's any other alternative.
Well, I think there is an alternative. I think
Because
the
I can't
alternative
imagine a
is,
house of this caliber and this magnificence right there on the green, and then you put,
well, the alternative
down
is,
the side.
as I understand this letter, is the alternative is an internal egress stairs, correct?
We don't consider it an alternative. Basically, today's requirements for stairs, the width of them and so on, basically will destroy the interior of this house. The house, as the architect has said, is laid out interior to keep circulation that was consistent with the historic designs, and to basically take two rooms out of the house and make them unusable. I mean, you have a center staircase, which is built around, so you'd be putting the staircase, closer to the center and making two of the rooms really unusable, and making those units probably very difficult to market. I think you should keep in mind that while it may not be so apparent on the plan, the materials are the same as the rest of the house, and it's tucked in against the house. Those plans are showing both the window being removed as well as the door that's being put in. I think they're much more complicated. It shows also what's actually underground for the footings. It is not going to look like a fire escape in a tenement house. It's going to look like a set of wood stairs coming down on tucked in on the side of the house. And if you look at the site plan, which is part of your application, there is no other location to put these. I mean, you only have one side of this house, but given that it's a corner that faces the side and is relatively less visible. Towards the rear of the house, there isn't room to put them. The setback is less than 3 feet from the property line. And here we're able to do it in a way that the stairs are no closer to the property line than existing, and they still come within just a couple of feet of the property line. We can't do it another way. And I think you have some idea of the incredible cost that's been involved in doing this project the way it's being done and saving this building. We cannot solve the problem doing it with taking that much out of the inside of the building. We can't do it. Fortunately,
no other corner that they can use, Bob. There's nothing else you can, no other place you could put it, huh? There's just there's no other place.
no, certainly you don't want it on the Main Street side of the house.
Well, this
There
is
is,
I
this
was
section
looking
of,
at here.
yeah, except that's one story over here.
Oh.
This is the one-story portion of the house. So we have this area, and it is not wide enough to do it.
I can see it's not
It can't
there.
be done. I considered is it possible to do it this way? It'd be more visible than this from the street, and it actually doesn't fit. I don't think you can put it here. Obviously, you don't want it coming out that way. This is just the best with, and this portion of the stairs, when you get out past here, will not be visible. This is like 3 feet, this is tucked behind this. We'd like to not have to do it, but there isn't any choice. If you want to renovate this building, if we had come to you in the first place and said we're required to have a second means of egress, the solution would have been no different.
It just seems wretched to
Tom,
put it there.
I point out that
If there was
the
any
house
other-
is so intricate, it overwhelms the staircase anyway. I mean, if you look at that house, you're gonna see the shingling and the nice filigree work and the porch and all, that's what you're gonna see, not this staircase off to the side. It's kind of like, I don't have a problem with it.
What was the issue with the building department? What did they say about this? Have you heard anything from them?
It was my understanding that the proposal was originally for an interior stair.
Well, there's reference to an interior stair here, so I don't know where that came from if it wasn't there originally.
Staircases take up a huge amount of interior area.
It would, I know.
So let's talk about the finishing of this, because you're talking about, it doesn't have the same balustrades, it doesn't have what? I mean, how would you make that look like it's part of the house rather than a fire escape? My words.
Obviously, if you feel that we should have a different balustrade, we'll do that, but this is so subordinate and so off to the side. To try to make it into something special, as opposed to what it is. And you call it a fire escape because it's a required means of egress, but you're suggesting that it's a metal thing that comes down or something.
Well, but I mean, I can't tell from this, that it's anything more than that.
Well, quite the contrary. I think that there are extremely detailed
Sitting on
architectural
pylons
drawings that
here,
have been prepared.
from the north side of the house, you could look over in the other property, and you're gonna see this staircase sitting on stilts,
Well, that
standing
isn't a
on
public
stilts.
view, I'd point out. That's not your concern, looking from the
neighbor over there.
adjacent property.
It's Ewan Street,
It's Ewan Street I'm concerned about, yeah.
it's Ewan Street. And as far as the trees
not
in
on
the
the
front
north.
go, my opinion is they should go anyway. I don't know why they're still there. They're not, it's not landscaping, so
no.
they're not shading
I certainly
anything.
agree with Mr. Chase that when you look at this building, your eye is going to be drawn towards all of the great stuff that's been done to that building, and that this is pushed tightly against this side of the house and set to the back. It is really on the rear of, it's on the side of the house. It's not on the front of the house.
It's on the side of the house coming to the front of the house, yes.
Well, so there's a very narrow set of stairs.
Yep. So how is all this finished off?
I wouldn't want it to be fancy, because I certainly wouldn't want you to
Well,
see it.
You wouldn't want to see it, but at the same time,
Well,
you're
asking
going to
how-
see it.
all of the.
You almost want it to disappear, and the way you make it disappear is you make it feel like it's part of the house and not a staircase down the side of the house, in my opinion.
What we had anticipated was to do a mahogany set of stairs with pine risers that are painted white and white 2x2 balusters and a mahogany rail. However, if the commission would like, we could match the balustrades from the front porch instead of having 2x2 balusters. In other words, make it look like an old set of stairs.
Do you see those balusters from the street?
I don't
You
know that you
wouldn't.
would.
No.
Did you
You'd
see
look
some?
straight at it, so
Wouldn't
you
make
wouldn't
any
see a
difference.
side view.
Just see that front newel post.
You'll see the front one.
Is there a big newel post at the front?
At the base of the stairs, there'd be a no post, yes.
Yes.
So that's gonna obscure everything, that and the rail.
I'm not seeing there's any other recourse.
And what about the pylon or the stilts there, or whatever you want to call them? So what are we looking at underneath the staircase?
Underneath it, there's a bulkhead. It was approved by this commission last time.
Yeah,
On the side there,
but
exterior.
on the first floor, is there windows on that side of the building?
Here's the elevation that shows it. And I actually think it suggests minimal comparison size.
Okay.
That's the carriage house.
That's the
We're over here. Here's the side of the porch, and this is what will be coming down on the side of the house. There is one window that will be in front of, but that window faces the side property.
So the window's going to look into the staircase?
Yes, it has to. We have to have a stair somewhere.
Yeah.
It will be several inches off of the window so that the windows operate properly.
Yeah, this is my whole issue with the whole thing, is I don't see you having any other recourse at all. I think you're stuck with it. Because by law, they have to have the second address.
There was.
It's a health and safety issue,
Yeah.
as it's been decided, and the word we have is we will not get a variance.
Yeah,
Try to do
yeah.
that, we will not get a
Yeah.
variance.
Kind of does block the window.
We've been
Or
told, don't
blocks
even
two.
try locally, and you won't get it at the state either.
It blocks 2 windows.
The
On the
cross
There's
L.
one right here.
On the L and then on the side of the house.
Well, I'll reduce this price on the condo on that side.
I mean, I think that's gotta be as much a negative to
Yeah.
whoever's buying that condo
That's really-
than losing some space off a room.
Yeah.
We're losing just a little space
Really
out
nice.
of the room.
Yeah.
There's not very large rooms to begin with in an old house, and we're talking about suggesting taking over 4 feet out of 2 rooms.
So realistically, I was just gonna ask about somehow framing in the pylons like.
But you can't do that, because
But you can't.
You got a
right,
window.
You're
Yeah.
blocking the windows. You can't even frame this in with,
Nope.
I was thinking whatever's framing the porch here to make it look like, but you can't even do that.
No. I think we're stuck with it.
Well, I think, again, if there's no other options from a regulatory perspective, I mean, I wouldn't vote for this
No, I would not.
otherwise.
I absolutely would not, unless there was, if there
Right.
was any other option whatsoever, but I don't
There's
see
an
how there is.
option regulatory-wise. I mean, I can't fight City Hall, but at the same time, if it's gotta be, I want it to be as good as possible.
Well, we're certainly open to your suggestions. If you feel that the balustrade should be the same, it's a little fancier, it's an
may-
easy thing for us to do.
Maybe like that one, and then the top one at the porch,
The newel posts?
this here,
Yeah.
this one, and then the bottom one. I don't think I'd do the middle ones. I think I'd try to make those as,
So,
why don't you come up here, Ralph, I can show you what I'm talking about, and you can tell me.
so you would want the newel post to match the newels
Some
on
kind
the
of,
front
some kind of the
porch?
design, rather than just a straight, so I'm thinking this one here because it's the porch, and then this one here because it's really because it's the end, not in between.
Okay.
But somehow there, because these are more focal points of the whole thing, the porch and then the bottom of the staircase. You said this is gonna be, supposed to be mahogany, the flooring?
The flooring would be pressure treated, but faced with white,
You paint the
Same
riser.
as the rest of the trim.
white
Yeah,
pine.
Okay.
the
White
on the
risers
riser.
or open risers?
Wood risers, white.
Without the risers, you might be able to see through to that window better.
We could easily not do the risers.
Might give a little more light in.
Well, it would give more light and it would.
Yeah.
Would you want it to look like that?
Yeah,
Would you
then
want it
you're
to
talking
look
about,
open?
right. Then it looks like a ladder.
Oh, yeah. Then it looks like a fire escape.
Yeah, then it looks like a fire escape.
To use it. Yeah.
With the risers, it blocks the bulkhead and the air conditioning, that's good.
Yeah, I like the risers. I think it just looks more finished, and it looks like more it was part of the house. And the steps themselves are gonna be natural or painted?
Mahogany.
Mahogany.
Mahogany said
Yeah.
they'll just finish it.
So,
The way the deck is.
Actually stained mahogany, with a mahogany stain. It's,
what's the porch on the front of the
The
house?
front porch?
the porch has got a fir deck.
Mhm.
We could match that,
You match the color.
yeah.
What are the stairs on the front porch?
The stairs are fir as well, and they are to be painted, but we're not doing that until the very end.
Yeah.
The color was already approved.
Was it a
I
gray?
believe it was gray.
I think
Stain.
it
Or
was
something
gray.
like that.
So I don't think you could paint it. Wouldn't that be slippery?
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, but painting is appropriate to the,
fir is one of the few decking materials that you can paint. You can't really paint pressure treated or mahogany, but fir you can, and that was historically how the old porches were built.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, again, to give it consistency is try to replicate as much as possible
I can do that.
from the porch, both the posts, the steps, the color, everything as much as possible, replicate there. So it does become invisible by not being visible, by not being different.
But the balusters, you said to.
I would say the only ones to me that are important are the bottom one.
Yeah,
The
the
newel
side
posts.
ones
The
are
newel
not, I
posts,
don't think
and
you
then-
do fancy ones on the side.
then
You
up
wouldn't
here,
anyway,
because-
even if that was,
Right.
with that house, you
So
wouldn't just.
the decking and the stair treads are on the rest of the house are fur painted gray.
Okay, then it'd be the same.
We can match that.
Like I said, if that makes sense, I don't know if it's a safety issue. Painted stairs, especially such a steep staircase. But it may not be slippery, I don't know.
No.
It won't be slippery.
There's,
You get railings on both sides, too.
there are
Okay.
types of paint that have like a sand finish to
Okay.
it.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
can incorporate.
Yeah.
And then you're putting a door up on top, obviously.
And
Yes.
place
What's
that
that gonna
window.
be?
Yeah, do we have that?
It's specified in my correspondence, and
This is only a side view, you gotta, can't quite see it in the front.
Four panel, 3 by 6'8".
Painted white.
Well, 2 wood stairs painted,
Oh,
two wood stairs painted gray, though.
yeah. 2 wood stairs painted gray. So the egress door, again, should blend in, so they'd be painted white? We don't want to accent the door.
No,
I don't think,
probably
right?
if you want it to disappear, then painted white would be the way to do it.
I would think so, don't you
I
think?
think so.
So a wooden door, painted white.
If it's not meant to be an entrance, and, it's really
No.
just an egress door, I would make it invisible.
Yeah, you just want it to blend with the
Yeah.
siding and everything else and the regular trim. And everything on that house is white.
Now, you required to put a light out there for code?
Yes.
So you have to put a light fixture of some
Well,
kind?
there's a switch inside. It would never be on.
But you're gonna have to have a fixture out there
Yes.
on the outside, so you have to determine, tell us what that's gonna be.
We're in discussions with the gentleman across the street right now to incorporate gas lights in the parking lot and matching ones on the building. I understand you approved that right next door to us. He has a gas light that he hasn't put up yet, and his lights on both sides of his front door
Talking the
match
Newton,
that.
the Newton house? Which next door?
Across, is it the Mosley Hall?
Is it?
The
Across-
gentleman from Maine, right, back one from us. It was recently
Here's
renovated.
the site plan.
That's the Newton house,
That's
isn't
the KLB house.
it? Yeah, KLB house.
Not sure.
No, that's your carriage house, and you skip a house, and it's the next one back beyond
Across
that.
the street, has a gas light.
Across the
in
street. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's now, what's that called now, the Captain's Manor instead of Mosley
Captain
Hall?
something, yeah.
Yeah, they changed it.
This lot here? This lot here?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
The man with the gas light is over here,
Oh, yeah,
and this
okay.
one bought one and also had the front of his house with matching ones on the wall. We're in discussions with this gentleman about getting 7 gas lights for the parking lot and 6 for the outside lights on the building.
Match.
That'll, so
has
when
to-
the whole lighting plan
Has to
should,
come.
will come back then. I would wait to do all the lighting together.
If that's part of it, then include that, the light, because you're gonna have some light there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether that's, we want it to be stand out as a decorative piece or an invisible piece, again,
It seems to me like you don't want to see it.
you think you don't want to see it, because you're not trying to highlight the door.
No. No, you won't.
But we'll do it then, could you include it in that, when you come back with the lighting plan?
I sure will. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll bring the cuts of the different lights
Yeah,
to mine.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just one last question about the posts. Are these just
Hmm.
square posts?
Yeah. Not
Like
much you can
8
do
by
with
8 or
those.
something.
Not much you can do, there's no, nothing you can do, I
They
guess.
won't
right?
really show.
No, that's
Just
right.
paint
The
them
yeah.
view is looking at the stairs, and those are kind of behind it.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's true.
Because the stairs will have risers,
You won't see
You
the
won't
stuff
it would be,
behind.
that would actually be a bigger deal if you had open stairs.
Oh,
Yeah.
Be a nice
I
place
still
for
think you can see it from
dampness.
this angle here. You can see right into here. Because there's, this vegetation here, I think is scrap vegetation. I think it's gonna go
This
at some
gentleman's
point.
house comes up like this.
Does it?
And
Yeah.
we've really gone out of our way to make him and him our friends.
Yeah.
We've put the air conditioners around back, we're in such a way that they don't impact their sleeping.
So now in front of the staircase, now then how do you incorporate, I don't know what kind of walkways you have here. How do you incorporating this into a
I don't
walkway?
think we'll need a walkway.
No.
Because it's just an emergency egress, you don't need to,
100 years.
Okay, so that's all it's gonna be? It's not meant to be a walkway to the street here or anything like that? Okay.
Just crushed stone back
Yeah,
there.
yeah, okay. Okay, so
So newel posts and stair treads to match the front porch?
newel post means this one and this one, right?
Yep, those are at the ends.
Mhm.
Right.
To match front porch.
Now, am I correct, sorry, let me just
Paint.
clarify, am I correct, is there one or two up on this
One what?
newel posts? Are we talking
Well,
about
that'd be
two?
two.
Right,
One on
two
either
and
side
then
of the-
two,
Sides
right?
to the
Right,
substairs.
okay, just want to be clear.
Yep,
Okay,
there's a rail on each side.
Mhm.
right.
Yes.
And all the railings, top and the spokes are all painted white,
Yes.
right? Floor is gonna be stained to match the stairs on the,
Gray.
on the gray, to match the porch stairs. And the risers will be white,
Yes.
And the door will be solid.
and the door will be white.
Painted white.
Mhm.
We prefer the door to be solid without glass.
Yeah,
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 I
just
agree.
you won't notice it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay,
You
so we
should
need to
probably
make a-
vote.
Oh,
We
sorry.
should make a motion.
So I'll make a motion that we accept this addition and modification to the application number
13-3.
13-3 with the modifications that we just described, the conditions being the door, the color of the stairs, the color of the steps and the decking floor, the addition of newel posts on the top, the upper deck and the bottom of the stairs. And the light fixture will be added to the light proposal whenever that comes in.
Yeah, that'll be later.
Okay, I second.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for your help.
Do we, so Nicole can come in?
Yeah. I'm glad you helped me with that. I didn't know where it was gonna come up with. Pressure treated staircase. Okay. The next correspondence we're going to deal with is a June 6th email from Dr. Woodwell about solar panels in the historic district. Nice to have you back. Can we have the, oh,
Oh, it's right here. I didn't bring copies for everyone.
okay. I think what your concern and question is when are we going to get to this?
Yeah,
As I-
that's fair.
as I paraphrase, right? So I think when we first discussed this, I mean, certainly we didn't intend to get this before the summer, you know, because we were rushed and we didn't have a full board, which we still do not have. At the time, I think when we also talked about this, we were anticipating combining two boards in Falmouth, that we would have a full board, and it looks like that may not happen, but it hasn't happened as of now. So we're still left with a not full board. And our concern about starting to change guidelines is that we didn't want to do it without a full board. So, that all being said, our intention is that later in the summer, maybe it's August or December, we agreed to start looking at what's out there, material-wise, options, other types of things, because the technology is evolving and changing, and we're certainly not experts in it. Actually, Nicole had volunteered to help us with that, because that is an expertise of hers. So that's still our game plan. It hasn't changed, and I think we're still on track to do that. What I will say, though, is I don't want your expectation to be is that we're putting together a alternative energy plan for Falmouth. That's not our intention. That's not our responsibility. That's not in our charter. So I just want to be clear of what you think we're going to do and what we're going to do.
But we're going to have a hearing, probably?
Of course, because
like that.
if the time comes where we strike.
Weren't we gonna have we were gonna invite experts
Yeah, we were gonna
to
do-
come
yeah,
in
since I
and give
remember,
us
yeah.
information so that we could have additional information?
Yes.
Not only on solar panels, but that's certainly one of them, and other building materials that we could approve in the future. I don't know if you saw any of the discussion tonight, but, you know, from PVC to whatever, we've had different types of, you know, roofing come in and trim come in and what have you. So we wanted to get people to give us information so that we could know, keep current and change accordingly. And I'm not sure if we can address these concerns in here about the Massachusetts general laws. So we have, unfortunately, we have other guidelines, or we're under a different act, is that correct?
Right, your statutory authority comes from Chapter 654 of 1975. It's special legislation. That's the only, so it's not a general law. You don't have any authority under any general laws. You have
Even if it's a general law in Massachusetts.
Right. Your statutory authority is from your special legislation. So the planning board has to abide by section 40A. If you were a historic districts commission that was established under chapter 40C of Mass General Law, you would have to abide by 40C. But you're not a 40C community. So your statute, for better or for worse, is what we have to follow. And that's, you know, your statute doesn't, that's why we're talking about things like notice. Your statute doesn't even give you authority to send notice.
Right.
So you can only do what your statute says to do.
Yeah.
So that's why we're looking at getting expert information in, because actually I'm not an expert, only can guide two experts perhaps, and then be able to make informed decisions about how we might change possibly or discuss the changing of our policies to incorporate some of these new materials.
And even evaluate applications in a different way.
And maybe have information to evaluate applications in a different way, yes,
Right.
certainly, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right, which I think we're probably limited to because we
Right.
don't have all
Right.
the information
Right,
available.
so we can expand the guidelines, we could change the guidelines
Yep.
accordingly, but we have to get the right information, we just haven't created the appropriate opportunity, which we'll do in August or September.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After the summer. and
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I know we talked about fall, early fall.
About
Yeah.
fall. So we're still on track. I know it's not as fast as you would like it to, but
Can we comment here?
sure.
You're talking about different materials and getting up to speed on what's available, or what's available in the market and
Not just what's available, but what would be appropriate.
what would be appropriate. Okay, but I suggest that as time goes on, more and more buildings are gonna end up with solar panels. And there's a quaint little house, has solar panels, is gonna look more and more normal as time goes on. It might be a shock.
Well, that's true. Our idea of normal over time does change.
Right.
However, I believe, unfortunately, and that's why I think it's important that we look at the guidelines and whether I'm in favor of changing it or not, we have to, it prohibits the use of the use of a public way of solar panels as it is stated, and so I think it is important that we, just like the notice thing, we change, if that's our intention, that we change the guidelines, because otherwise we are, although they are just guidelines, So they're
They're
not.
just guidelines,
It's
yeah.
not,
But I
right.
just want, I'm saying that it might be a shocker at this point or in recent history to see solar panels on a historic house.
Mhm.
But in the future, it's not gonna be a shocker at all, it's gonna be normal.
But the point of the matter
So-
is, though, as well, Tom, is that what we have choices of types of, is much better, and that's why I think it's so important that it be looked at and, and
For
really
sure.
discussed. But yes, I take your point. But that also being the case, we've seen the sort of sensitive nature of the discussions about energy in this town, that we want to make sure that we do it, I think, carefully, because I don't want to run into another
When Mr. Woodwell was
divisive.
applying for putting panels on his roof, it was a no, we don't allow panels on the roof. It wasn't,
Mhm.
well, which panels and what do they look like?
But that's what we're taking a look at
Right.
now. Yeah, you're right.
That wasn't a correct statement, I just want to clarify, we
Okay.
didn't make that ruling, that we don't allow solar panels on roofs, because we
No.
do. We don't allow solar panels on roofs that are facing into the historic district.
Yeah.
Under the, so.
That was the
we-
basis of the denial, not that we don't allow.
The primary.
Yes, the primary roof, not that we don't allow solar panels, because we have,
Yes.
Well, I bet someday we do.
maybe.
And it's gonna be easier, just like we approve asphalt shingles in a
Right.
historic district, because it's gonna become easier because they got so much better and more like other existing materials, that it's not even up for discussion. It's just, of course you would approve it because it looks appropriate. I mean, I think it's important to make the changes.
I hate to make the same point, I've made it so many times before. The asphalt shingle actually is
Okay, so maybe that was a
designed
bad
to wood.
example to use, but my point.
But our sense is that wood looks somehow more historic, and it's a false sense.
Perhaps it was a bad example.
We could talk about thatch, we haven't discussed.
Thatched, yes, I love
Maybe
thatched
we need to get into
roofs.
some of these other possibilities.
They're quieter too.
I think I need
Thatched
to go home
roofs.
now.
Yes, they are.
Oh, yes, they are.
Sir?
On the legal interpretation, just to clarify, are you stating that the general laws don't apply, that there's this special act?
They have no authority to act under Chapter 40A or Chapter 40C. Their authority to act is under their special legislation. So 40A doesn't apply to them.
Based on your interpretation of the statute?
But
No, it's based
regardless-
on- Based on how the historic district was formulated.
Was created in Falmouth. But regardless, I mean, we're not trying to create a legal precedent here in terms of we're not following the law, we are following the law, unless somebody wanted to create that situation. I think a more, respectful approach to it would be to look at what we can adjust to and then get it in ours, rather than take it to, the mass courts,
So just
Yeah.
clarifying.
Yeah.
Then another question, there's a decision on solar panels that face towards the road, towards the public way. The panels were on the back of the roof and not visible. That would be something that,
We have approved, like I said, we have approved solar panels in historic districts. So it's not like we haven't. So our rule is not that we don't allow solar panels, that is not our rule. We have many instances where we have approved them. It's just where they're located and how they are, let's say, viewed or visible from the public way in a historic district, that is the determination. Our board is not setting some kind of precedences on everyone should have alternative energy. That's not our mandate. Our mandate is to protect the character of the historic district. So when appropriate, we approve them. When not appropriate, based on what our mandate is, we don't approve them.
yeah, I think just to add as well to Tom's point earlier, solar is gonna become more common, and Falmouth has over 100 installations already, and some of the most of any town in the state. So I think looking at some of the goals of the state, I think they're looking at 4 times as
Point well taken.
Yeah, I mean, we used to
So-
think fruits and vegetables weren't, important to eat, but now we do, I mean, it's, yeah, we'll adapt.
Guidelines are not a law,
No.
and you're substantially making the guideline a law. If there is a law, those who wrote the general laws laid it out pretty clearly from their perspective. You, in making a guideline and interpreting it as a law, are saying that you know better with respect to what should be in towns, based on historic interest, but nonetheless, you know better. I would question whether that's a defensible perspective. Adding up where the public good lies at the moment, I'd argue that the public good is clearly at the moment in developing alternative sources of energy at almost any cost. And that's substantially what the President said last week. He did a brilliant job of laying out the crisis of climate, which is a crisis without any question, and laid out in terms that no other president has ever done, and as well as any president could at the moment, just where the nation ought to be going. And I think that applies to us here in Falmouth and everyone else. And that we have to get on with replacing all fossil fuels, and especially coal for energy. And wind and solar panel innovations really have to be developed, and every south-facing roof has to have solar panels. That's just the way it is now in this new world. So I would argue that we really should take a look at the general laws and recognize that those who wrote them had something in mind, and that we aren't really rewriting the circumstance or the Commonwealth's purposes in the interests of history alone.
You said Nancy?
Nancy wanted to say something.
Oh, sorry, Nancy. Do you have a comment?
Yes. This is the Historic District Commission. And the Historic District Commission was created in 1975 by special legislation. And the Historic District Commission is here to act on the preservation of historic qualities in the historic districts in the town of Falmouth. And I could spend a lot of time getting into political discussions, but until we turn into a different kind of government, I do not feel it's appropriate to threaten the citizens of Falmouth with imposition of something which they may not want. And so I go back to my first statement. The Historic District Commission was created by special legislation, and this commission is supposed to abide by that legislation. You and I are both citizens, and we both have the rights to our opinion. I don't know how old you are, Mr. Whitwell, but I am 83 years old. And so I have been through different kinds of weather and different kinds of circumstances. And I think that your argument should be placed someplace besides before the Historic District Commission. As Mr. Haddad has said, the town has approved solar panels. It has approved solar panels where they do not interfere with the historic aspect of the historic houses in Falmouth. And I believe that the Historic District Commission is doing what they were created for.
I'm sure they are.
Thank you. Okay, thanks for the comment, Nancy. Dr. Woodward, thank you, as always, for your comment. I think we'll move along. I don't know that there's a resolution other than I think we have told you our position, what we're still planning to do, and
Well, I appreciate that.
thank you. Okay. The next item on the agenda is a possible letter to the selectmen. How this originated was I wrote a email to Marlene with an observation on my part that because part of our jurisdiction comes up having to do with Main Street and Main Street stores and signs that we have jurisdiction over, there are many stores on Main Street that seem to either be falling through the cracks in any kind of regulations or abusing it. And the point being the shops that are turning the sidewalk into flea markets. And it's creeping now. One did it, now two did it, now there's 4 or 6 that do it. And it seems to be not being observed by anyone. And I feel badly from our perspective because we're here talking about signs and making the businesses as attractive as possible for the business district, for the historic district, for the town of Falmouth. And yet there's this gap of someone not looking at this and whose responsibility is it? So I raised the point. Is it the selectmen? Should it be the historic district? Someone needs to make a decision on it because I think it's a distraction.
Is it the village association?
I don't know.
Well, the Village Association doesn't really have any authority, do they?
Right, so,
The merchants.
right. So the Historic Districts Commission has authority over buildings and structures and signs.
Not sidewalk?
If a sign or, you have jurisdiction in the sidewalk area if someone's going to propose something that's defined as a structure.
Yeah, okay.
Tables, street furniture, clothing racks.
Racks are not structures that are permanent in any way.
Are not defined
Yeah.
as structures or signs.
Mm.
The selectmen do have, the selectmen do have the ability to license public property. They often do it for parking spaces, where there's license agreements that restaurants have certain on-street public spaces.
Or valet parking or what have you.
Right, dedicated to their use. Something similar probably could happen with Main Street, where if the items are on public property, there could be a licensing procedure. Main Street's a little funny in that it appears that the buildings are built right up to the public property.
The sidewalk is public, right?
Well, that's the key. In some cases, the sidewalk is on private property.
Oh.
So in some cases on Main Street, like you saw the railing for Anejo, they applied to for their Rhode Island railing. That's on their property. That's private property, even though it looks like it's all part of the sidewalk. So in some cases where their activities are on private property, that is different than if they're encroaching on the on the public sidewalk. So you would definitely have jurisdiction over, like, that railing is permanent. And they came in and they got your approval. Now, the other items, I'm not sure, you don't have authority right now to regulate them. If that's something you wanted to expand your authority to do, it would have to be written into your act. But it's something that you can certainly express. If you're feeling displeasure, you can certainly express your displeasure as someone, as a commission who is very active and involved in the design of Main Street. Certainly communicate that to the selectmen. Even though you don't, for a sign on Main Street, if you felt that it was in violation, we could take enforcement action. If it was if it was a neon sign, or if it was a sign that was not in compliance, we can take enforcement action to have it removed, because you have clear jurisdiction on signs. You can't really enforce on tables or street furniture or benches or planters or all these things that are kind of
accumulating.
Who approves dining, tables, chairs, the bench in front of the ice cream shop, and who approves that?
Nobody. Nobody does.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm part of a merchant association, but we have a big landlord who regulates what can be shown and not shown, but Falmouth is not like that. It's all independents and different owners, and
Right.
and the merchant association doesn't have any authority, and certainly the Chamber of Commerce doesn't have any authority in that way. So, I mean, I don't know, what was your hope?
Well, the hope was to raise the question of who is regulating this, or who
Yeah.
should be regulating it, because it appears to be unregulated right now. And because something is unregulated, it starts to get out of hand. I don't mind sidewalk cafes. I love I think it adds to the charm of a town.
Right.
Do I like clothing racks,
Right, I mean, we don't want to
lining
be
the
like
street?
a Jersey Shore.
It looks like a flea market.
Yeah.
Now there's tables on the sidewalk
you
in
get
how many
tables with
stores? Yeah.
And then you got the racks with
Yeah,
everything
yeah, you
else.
do.
And one sees it, and of course, they've got to compete, and now, like I said, there's at least 6 stores that have stuff out on the sidewalk.
I mean, I would agree that it's becoming
So it was to
a
raise an
eyesore.
awareness to them and saying,
But I think a letter to the selectmen is a good approach, at least to begin with, and to raise the question, and, I think that's an excellent idea.
Right.
since it falls, the Main Street falls under our jurisdiction anyway for many things.
Right, for many things it does.
I don't think it's inappropriate for us to raise
Right.
the awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
I
all
think we
this
could
is,
write
you know?
it.
You can certainly do
Right.
that.
So we're very concerned about it.
Because
it's
We are
impeding-
charged with
it's
trying to
impeding-
make- Sure, because we're trying to make it look good.
Right,
Yeah.
and it's
then
impeding
there's
our
this
ability to
direct
do
thing
so.
in the foreground.
I feel ridiculous
Yeah.
criticizing a store owner
Yes.
for what he does to
Yeah,
their
for his
store or their
sign.
sign, and then next
Pink
door.
sign, and the people next door have a whole
Exactly.
rack of pink
You know?
sweatshirts,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So what I would recommend is that, what we usually do, and the planning board does this all the time, they send correspondence to other boards. Take a vote to task me with drafting up a letter for Ed's signature, based on your discussion tonight. That's the way this is generally done.
That's the easiest,
But-
smoothest way to do it.
Yeah,
it's
it's
just,
the easiest way to
that's
do
the way
it.
to start, it's just to say,
But it is important to have the vote of the commission,
Yeah.
so it's not just Ed speaking as Ed.
Sure.
so I guess I'll ask for a motion if we all agree to take that action to at least raise a letter raising the issue to the selectmen.
Yeah, I think
To-
that's-
so-
I think it's
Just to
certainly
see if,
Appropriate
Yep.
and
I think
good
it's
to
appropriate.
to make awareness of it,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So-
Because if nobody else is looking at
like I said, and it's getting worse. And it's-
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
it. Aye.
So the
Yeah.
motion was to ask Marlene to draft a letter of concern to the selectmen raising this issue of,
Yeah,
And I'll draft that up and send it to you.
all right,
Yeah.
thank you.
yeah, really, it's a very
I
good
think
point.
it's a good point.
It's a very good point.
The next item is a kind of possible letter for, I don't know, probably the only person that would recall this would be Tom on the board. 544 West Falmouth Highway, it's a condominium building at the corner of West Falmouth Highway and Chappaqua Road. There was a,
That's the one with the white fence, the white picket fence?
I think it has a white picket
Chappaqua Road.
fence.
It's
Right?
a
Falmouth
white
Highway.
building.
Yes.
It's on the corner, white building,
It
picket
has a lot
fence.
of white
Okay, got it.
And at
Yeah.
the time, they had a huge exposed aluminum vent coming out of the side of the building. And they came before the board, or the board, I can't remember at the time, we told them to patch it up. It was
Mm-hmm.
inappropriate.
up a couple weeks ago,
Right, there was a letter.
It did. There was a letter.
And I told Marlene at the time, I says, oh, that's been taken care of, because as I drive by it, I see there's a patch on it, and it's patched up. What I've noticed now is that patch was a temporary, because it's moving away.
Oh.
So it looks like it's something that was just put almost like a flap over the vent that's still there. And now this letter makes sense, because they're raising the issue that they could be selling this unit, and they could activate the vent. Well, we disallowed this open vent.
So
So-
the motion would be to repatch the patch.
Repatch the patch.
So do we need a committee decision on something like this, or can you just?
No, I think we're just gonna, sending a letter to the building department saying, we want you to enforce.
Yeah, but do we all have to like sign into something like that, or is it?
No, it would be the same, it would work the same way. You vote, Ed signs. I'll draft it up, Ed signs it, it goes to the building department.
I move we so act.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that's what that's all about. Now it's just sort of hanging there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next business would be the minutes of June 11th. Any additions or corrections?
Good
I
job.
make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented from June 11th.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So the next item is the proposed articles for the November town meeting, which we have discussed. The first item, I know Marlene has worked on some of the wording, so the first is the repetitive petition.
And hopefully, it didn't get shuffled around. I think I left a second draft at everybody's spot.
Yep.
And I essentially tried to take out kind of the contorted legal
Yeah,
language.
it was something awful.
It was, and that was even better than the original that I was
Yeah, I
following
know
this
you were
over.
trying to get it clearer.
But, so the repetitive petition, essentially the idea is the same, but I'm using the word denied and approved, and so I think it's more readable. And the point is that right now, if someone wants to come back with the same exact application, Frank Duffy, Attorney Duffy has said they can't come back to you. They have exclusive remedy of an appeal to Superior Court. What this allows you to do is there's a 1-year wait for them to come back with the exact same application, unless you decide that something else has changed and it's timely to relook at it. So you have, it's a more than a majority vote, it's a supermajority vote. So in this case, it would be a unanimous vote, that you would have to find that you're going to essentially waive that 1-year wait period and let them come back with the same application. This does not apply to projects that have been redesigned, and that's a new application. You can always relook at those. This is if essentially an application that you denied is photocopied and resubmitted, this would apply to that.
Okay, but does it make, like, so
There's got to
people
be
know that
some-
and they don't just photocopy it and they make slight changes and then we have to look at it as if it's a new application, or we can interpret it as if it's a...
Right, so you have to make the decision and find specific and material changes.
Okay.
There's gotta be some way to quantify that.
There's really not. We deal with this, and there's some case law for zoning boards and planning boards. They can be very minor changes, but if the board feels that they made enough minor changes that it changes the nature of the application, like one court case was, it was as minor as like the type of blinds they were gonna put inside the hotel or and the type of lighting they were going to install. So they can be, and I'm not saying you need to follow it's up to you. If you feel that it's enough of a change that you want to open another hearing, you want to reconsider it, then it's up to 4/5 of you.
Well, the case of the garage tonight was 22 by 24 or 24 by 24, which I computed to be a 8% difference.
Right.
So if somewhere in our proceedings we said 10% was significant and 8% wasn't, or 5%,
Yeah.
somewhere, if we had some precedent where we once made a decision that it
Well, you
was-
can use precedents regardless, but I think if you give it tag a number onto it, then we're just gonna get caught in
Yeah.
some other hole.
But there's gonna be some ballpark amount there, isn't
Well,
there?
so is 8% a specific and material change? Maybe, it can be argued,
But-
but it's all
but-
subjective.
Right, but you've got to look at it as a whole. So it's 8%, and they took off the dormers, and they lowered the eaves. Is that enough?
Yeah.
So
To have a new application.
to have
Yeah.
a new hearing, right?
And
So-
it could be
and
if
it's
the
up to
original
you.
denial was on the fringe.
Right.
That could, just a slight change could have been enough to put it over the edge. I mean, so that's why it has to be arbitrary, you know?
And that's why I'm really holding you to explaining your votes.
Yeah,
So
Hear
they
you.
need to know,
Yeah.
they need to know what to do in order to come back. So if you give them a denial and you say you're denying for these reasons, that's why I'm really gonna
Yeah, I
press you
think
on
that that's very good, and I thought it was very helpful to have
Yeah.
them, this letter written out that way.
I think it was too. I think it
It's very
sets a
helpful.
good tone for
Particularly-
us to
yeah.
understand what we have to do.
Because it does
And
make it
then the
really clear for
applicant
them.
knows,
Yes.
okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to explain to you how I'm gonna address points A, B, and C
Right.
that you're unhappy with. And then it's up to you to decide if they've gone far enough in addressing
Yeah.
them.
Yep.
It also gives them a handle when they take it to court.
Right, I mean, you understand what the issues are, both sides.
But I think it also is good for us, that we just can't arbitrarily and on a whim.
No, we have
Because
to
we're
have
dealing
our
with
reasons.
people's lives here and their
Yeah.
property. And
Yes.
we have to have facts and a basis for denying or
Absolutely.
approving a
Yeah.
project. And we're
Yeah.
not doing our
Yeah.
job if we don't have facts.
Yeah.
You know? And
You
I think in the
don't, right.
past, it was emotion in many
Yeah.
cases. And that's not fair to the homeowner,
Right.
you know?
No, you're absolutely right.
So I think
For
it's
the
our
community in terms of
responsibility.
interpreting it,
Right.
or,
I think it's our responsibility as well. So I think it's great, yeah.
That's how you get paid the big bucks.
Yeah, yeah. Okay,
Wait,
so.
we do or you do?
So that's the change, so nothing substantial changed in the first one, it's just language,
Yep.
kind of
Yeah,
trying
it
to
made
make it
it
more
better.
simple.
The first time I went into
Right.
sort
I
of
know,
a
the
brain
first
freeze
time
trying to read the thing.
Tamsin
Right,
this is
got
better.
a little crabby. The notice of the public hearing, I think you had a really good discussion last time
Yeah.
about who reads legal ads and why aren't we using the website instead? For your statutory change, I am saying that and you don't have to use the newspaper and send mailed notice, you can just do one. So I'm saying you send mailed notice, and that's not a change, that's the same as we talked about, within 100 feet of any part of the property. And the receiving lot also has to be within the historic district. And instead of putting it in the newspaper, for your statutory change, I'm saying you should commit to posting the notice with the town clerk 7 days in advance of the meeting. The town clerk is the official keeper of all of the town's records and documents. The website is not the official repository, and sometimes, frankly, we have issues with technology, and sometimes things, get put up and then they get taken down accidentally or disappear. So, but the official notice of public hearing, I'm saying, should be posted with the town clerk, and that's what should go into your law.
Isn't it now?
Your agenda.
The agenda.
Your
Oh, all right.
agenda
Okay.
is posted in accordance with the open meeting law 48 hours in advance.
Oh, only 48. So
Oh.
this at least gives,
7 days.
Right.
okay.
So people can
Everybody
check,
who
but they
sues
don't
us
know
knows that.
But they don't have to come every day and every day and every day. So at
But-
least you've got
Right,
a
right.
weeks.
But in addition to
Yeah.
your statutory change, you also have rules and regulations. So if you also want to commit to having notice of public hearing on your webpage 7 days in advance, I suggest you put that in your rules and regulations. the statutory level should be the official town action. If your operating rules, and if the way you operate is you also want it on the website, put it in your rules and regulations 7 days in advance. But the official public notice is at the town clerk, posted on their bulletin board 7 days in advance, and notice is mailed to abutters within 100 feet.
That should be on page 1 of our guidelines. It came up tonight, the protests against the garage, they didn't know we had a meeting.
Right, notice is important, and that's why we're changing
But
this.
they didn't know where to look anyway, and nobody was monitoring.
People don't know.
It was in the
That's right.
guidelines.
Oh, I have some great, actually, are we done now? You're all set? I think we're all set on
I think this
that.
reads well. I think it reads well.
Are you okay with these?
We're
Yes.
okay, so statutory, we're gonna send notice, but in our.
Post notice with, send notice to the property
But
owner.
in our own bylaws, our own rules, we're gonna follow the rule that we're gonna ask the clerk's office to post them a week in advance in town hall.
Yeah.
No, that'll be statutory.
Oh, statutory.
Your
'Cause that's what these
rule will
changes
be,
are.
we'll post it 7 days in advance on your website.
Oh, the website,
Yeah.
okay.
But we're.
So the mailing and the town clerk is statutory?
Yes.
Yes, that's right,
Yes.
okay.
And what I need from you is a vote that you're okay with this language, and then I'll draft up the article with the section numbers and everything, and submit it to the warrant.
Yeah,
Good.
And then you won't have to see it again until town meeting.
good.
So, and the chairman, you know what we forgot to do? We forgot to reorganize. I'll put it on your next agenda.
Okay.
The chairman of the commission explains these to town meeting.
Oh, boy.
I'm not the chairman yet. We have to reorganize.
Oh, that can be arranged.
But I do need a vote on this to approve.
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the 2 proposed articles as written, and get them ready for presentation at town meeting in November. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah, I think it's a
Good. So
good
we
beginning
find-
on this stuff.
Well, these are
We
things
have
that should have
consistently
always been
heard,
done, you know?
we've consistently heard that people are not being notified.
Right,
They-
it's
they-
terrible.
And
It's
we have had the
terrible.
problem of repetitive stuff coming back and
Oh, it's
forth.
not
So
right.
it's good to have this cleared up this way.
Now, just one last thing, I actually did this at the time when we had an applicant on Old Main Road who wanted vinyl windows. I was doing a lot of research at the time about what is this windows. And I came across a couple of really interesting articles that I thought you would really get a kick out. This one about porches is an eye-opener. It's great about things about porches. And this is just about windows. And it was just fun reading. And it was light, and I really enjoyed reading it, and I think you will too. Because,
How many are there? Are they different?
no, there's
No,
2.
She's worried about how much reading she's got to do.
You know, and it was just, it's interesting stuff, you know, and it's,
How do we smart?
Is your house a clown house? So
we've
that's
become,
good.
we've
To the
become
shocking
geeks.
truth.
Okay.
No.
And then this one is Tom's favorite. What replacement windows can't replace? The real cost of removing historic windows.
Well, like he said, they're,
Fabulous.
rip the soul out of a house if you take those old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, and.
So could we have these to hand out as you come in the door?
Yeah, really.
Just
And then
hand
this
it out to
last one,
everybody.
I did a whole, I didn't realize you did so many. 5 reasons not to buy new windows for your historic house.
No, really, Tom, we're into this. We can hand these out. We can have
Thank you.
stacks of these on a table by the door.
Yeah.
That's something.
But they were
Sure.
just, I just kept going because it
Yeah.
was really so interesting, because it's like, oh my God, this is
Why not?
certifying
This is
everything
great.
we say,
Oh,
you
this
know?
Yeah.
is great.
Oh, it was great, so
Oh,
I
wow.
think you'll get a kick out
I
of
love it
it.
when
too.
they say
Sure,
wood
different
doesn't last.
I know,
Yeah.
I know.
That house over there on St. Barnabas' Rectory, it's got, the windows are 240 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're fine.
My house in Needham is 1923. All original trim, all original windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to be fixed and here,
Yeah.
now and there. I still have the metal pulls, you know, on the
Oh, yeah, I mean,
side,
I
the
lived in an
weights.
1850
the weights.
house.
Yeah,
Imagine if
But-
that was AZAC, 88 years old.
yeah. And it all works,
It
fine.
can work, however,
Yeah.
the discussion about old wood and new wood is relevant because it's
Well, I'm
true.
not
Well, the new
Old
stuff-
wood is
The new
just
stuff is
amazing,
tricky, but-
and the new wood.
People talk about this all the time, you know, but there are,
Let me close the meeting so they can.
Well, you need to do the proposals reviewed administratively.
Yeah, that's just for information. Oh, that's for information. But I do need to talk to you about the next meeting dates.
Okay,
September 3rd.
that's not the next meeting, what happened to August? Is
Well,
August?
August?
August 6th is on there.
Okay.
August 6th
The
is on there.
September meeting would be August 3rd. If you want to meet.
Sorry, I didn't see those.
If you want to meet September 3rd, you're going to be without me.
September
What
3rd
is-
is Tuesday.
Yeah.
When is
Labor Day.
Labor Day?
Labor Day is
September
September
2nd.
2nd, and Rosh
Oh, so
Hashanah
this is the
next
day
day.
right
This is
after.
the day after Labor Day, and
Maybe we
I'm
could
not
do
going to
it.
be back in time to make the meeting. So,
Could we make it a week later?
I'm available on September 10th,
Mm-hmm.
but it's more important that a quorum of you be available on September 10th.
Well, frankly, September 10th is better for me than September 3rd, so
Yeah.
I could agree to that.
September 10th.
And connected
works.
to that, what are we doing about gaining other members of the commission?
Well, just a second, let's finish this
Okay.
conversation, the date, and then we'll get on to that.
Are you here September 10th?
either one's good to me.
Tamsin, do you know if you're here September 10th?
Oh, I'm fine on that, on the 10th,
I
yes.
have a conference in Chicago the next day,
The next day?
the next day. I
So?
don't know what time I would,
Right.
well, let's just do it. I'll go 6 o'clock flight. That's fine.
What about you, Nicole?
That's better for me, actually, the
The
10th.
10th is better for you? We'll keep the agenda moving very quickly, right, Ed?
Yep.
So you can get out of here.
Yeah, well, I think we've got the most controversial cases. I don't
No,
see
oh,
anything.
there'll be more.
I
I'm here
know,
for
but-
September.
Oh, September,
We'll keep
yeah.
the September meeting
Yes,
moving.
yeah, okay, so we're gonna be on September 10th
Yep.
is our meeting date, okay?
Thank you, guys.
No problem. We don't want to not have it. So I didn't see the back here, the administrative applications, there were 3, 50 Depot Avenue concrete steps, 92 Cary Lane for windows and trim, and 285 Main Street roof replacement. So, just one last thing, the thing you asked about, Tamsin. I've talked to Marlene about, it does not appear that that is going to move forward, the merging of the
Oh, and I heard you
boards.
reference that, and I thought, interesting, because I thought that
That's
would
not
then
gonna
give us
move forward.
sufficient numbers and everything else.
What happened?
I don't
Is
know.
there an official, we
No,
know, or?
no, it's not official yet, it just
Okay.
doesn't seem to be coming together.
It's too much opposed in
Yeah.
various camps.
Yeah,
Well, I think the work is too different.
yeah.
So, and there's nobody who can serve on both.
Imagine how long this meeting would go if we had another
Oh,
whole
I
bunch
know.
dear.
of people here, another different type of applicant.
But I don't know, in talking about when we originally brought this, their agenda sort of runs in spurts. It's not like they have a full agenda at every meeting. They seem to have a couple of times a year they have, where they
Real
update
big.
their listing, and then other than that, it's minor, it seems like, unless there's a demolition request, you know.
Suppose they had a whole bunch of things to add to this meeting tonight, that would be a shame.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So-
it doesn't appear that that's gonna move forward. So we're still on the hunt for
For another person.
at least,
Yeah,
no,
we need one more person, or
2 more persons
You,
now.
you need, how many,
One,
you
two,
need
three,
one
four.
full member and 2
2
alternates.
alternates. 3
Yeah,
new
it would make it a whole lot
So-
better for the rest of us.
Yes.
And
So
That's
go
true.
so how do we
find
go
some
about it?
friends
Yeah.
and twist some arms.
Can we do a letter to the editor and have it in the Enterprise or something? What can we do?
You can do
To
whatever.
say, because I think that there's 33,000 people in this town.
Mhm.
There's gotta be several people who will be willing to do it, but they probably don't have any idea
I know.
that
Yep.
there's the possibility.
They do list the vacancies on the committees
I
about
know.
once a year and.
I'm happy to write a
Not
letter
enough.
I'll write a letter to the
Yeah.
Enterprise,
Yeah.
you know,
That-
just
that's a
talking
good-
about the commission and
Yeah.
Because you
what
know
the
what happens
interest
when you
is
advertise it.
and, sorry?
You know what happens when you advertise?
Uh-oh.
A bunch of people apply that are not who you had in mind.
Well, it's up to the selectmen
Yeah, the
to
selectmen
approve
have
it
to
anyway, so it's
interview
not
and
automatic
appoint.
anyway.
Well, that's true, but then we don't necessarily have any
No, that's correct.
vested interest in.
Correct.
Right.
Although,
Well, I mean, I just don't know
need
how you go about it,
volunteers,
that's why I was
so.
wondering.
So what,
I mean, you have to get equal, representation of the citizenry.
Yeah,
do you want to adjourn?
we definitely need. I'll make a
Yes.
motion that it's 9:32. I make a motion that we adjourn the July 2nd meeting. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So adjourned.
Thank you.